Alright, hello everyone, welcome back. Got a little bit of me 2 nights in a row. I am Dave, this is the D-Pad, you're watching on Twitch, YouTube, wide world of the internet, and today we're checking out a game called The Forgotten City. Forgotten City is kind of a investigative, detective, first-person mystery game that involves a time travel loop that's set in kind of a ruined city of ancient Rome. I very intentionally have gone into this not really knowing anything about it. That's how most of the reviews and things I saw about the game recommend it. So, with no further ado, yeah, also, that is very true. Closer Vision was originally a Skyrim mod that kind of remade and redid as a whole game. We will hit that new game button. We will fire off. This game was developed by a core team of 3 people over 4 years. Your support allows us to continue doing what we love. It's a mystery adventure with multiple endings. Rewards thoughtful conversation and exploration, not brute force. Fate of the city is in your hands. Present day. Oh, we have a friend already.
When I dragged you out of the river, I thought you were never gonna wake up. I checked your pockets for ID, a phone, maybe. I hope you don't mind. But all I found was some loose change. So, wanna tell me who you are?
Depends, did you give me my loose change back? So it looks like select a masculine or feminine body type. Go with masculine. A few skin color options. I am pasty pale. And we will go with Hook. Defense Against the Ancients came from originally a Warcraft 3 mod, I believe. Or a like, unique game mode. Oh yeah, I already named my other one Hook. So, Dave.
Well, it's nice to meet you. And I'm sorry to pry, but any idea why
I was floating down a river?
What's the last thing you remember?
So, either we have an option of I was searching for ancient ruins. Archaeologists, years of studying history give you occasional insights into the ancient world. I was on a covert mission. You have a military-issued firearm, but only 10 bullets. You have to use them judiciously, since there's no way to get more. I was on the run from the law, fugitive. Your time on the run from authorities has made you quick on your feet, and you're 25% faster while sprinting. Or I barely remember anything. Recent head trauma has increased your pain threshold, making you 50% harder to take down. I think I was searching for some ancient ruins, because archaeologist seems like all the rest of these I can avoid stuff, but archaeologist seems like the one where I might be able to miss things.
Then you'll definitely want to hear this.
Alright, lay it on me.
Exactly what you're looking for, but there are some ruins just behind you. Roman, I think. I need you to go in there and see if you can find a guy named Al for me. He went in there a few hours ago, and he hasn't come out. I've been freaking out, wondering if he's trapped, or injured, or worse. I would have gone in after him, but he made me promise to stay here, no matter what. There's no way I can live without him, so I'm just kind of stuck here, waiting. What I mean is,
Game could be a little louder. Okay.
You wouldn't mind going in there to find him? If you can do that, I can get both of you back to civilization in my boat. Please?
Me increase that. See if that is a little louder.
Oh, of course. Sorry, I don't mean to be pushy. What do you want to know?
Is that loud enough for a little more? Better? Cool. What's your story?
There's not much to tell. Feels like I've spent my whole life in a dead-end job with an endless commute. Know what I mean?
But why are you here? You're not even gonna tell me your name?
Oh, I'd rather not say if it's all the same to you.
Wait, fuck you. That's the first thing you asked me. Really like to know, especially if I'm gonna be helping you.
Alright, fine. Sorry if I sounded cagey, it's just that I don't always get the best reactions when I introduce myself. My name's Karen.
Oh, okay, I get it, ma'am. Well, thank you for saving my life, Karen.
You're welcome.
Will be
Always
nice.
happy to help. Was there anything else you wanted to ask?
Yeah, plentiful. Who's Al?
The guy who washed up on the riverbank not long before you did. I thought maybe you two knew each other. I guess not.
Assuming because we just washed up on the same riverbank.
What you're doing here. In any case, you'll like him, I'm sure. Once you find him, that is.
Okay,
You really
where
don't
are we?
remember? We're in Italy. This river is the Tiber.
Italy. Italy, okay. What can you tell me about the
Not
ruins?
much, really. But imagine what you might find in there. Priceless ancient artifacts. Al.
She's really hammering on that point. You tried calling for help?
Idiot. You could hike a long, long way in any direction and never find another soul.
That's not what I meant for calling for help, ma'am. I meant a fucking cell phone, but I suppose that's all the questions I had.
Ready to go look for Al?
I'm going in for the priceless artifacts, but I'll keep an eye out for him. Alright, I'm in.
The entrance is just past those columns behind you. Please, hurry. Oh, and he left this here. But I think you'll need it more than I do.
Oh yeah, Italy doesn't have cell phones. I forgot. They don't exist in Italy. So we have a little bit of Resident Evil style where we can click and drag. I've been so distracted by the dragonfly that's usually buzzing behind her head in some of it. But we can click and drag items. But instead we just take it. And we have the ability to pull out a flashlight. And also we can hold shift to sprint. Yeah, it is, I suppose, this doesn't look a lot like an area in which you'd have plentiful cell reception. I can definitely see that. Damn. These are pretty big ruins for no one to have found them. I mean, there's a torch lit right there. A backpack. Backpack full of worn hiking clothes and empty food packets. Nothing valuable here, but still, it seems strange that Al left it behind. Oh, you can spin it fast. Woo! Let me just give this backpack a real quick ocular pat down. Nope, everything looks good here. Carry on, sir. And then we have a note. Reading this, so I imagine we can... Oh, okay.
It means I've discovered the entrance to an ancient Roman city, hidden deep underground. Its existence is long forgotten. All knowledge of it lost, except in the Latin inscription here. It reads, "You who wish to enter the city, step forth and be judged. The virtuous shall be rewarded with eternal life in paradise. The wicked shall find themselves showered in gold, but in vain. For this shall be their final..."
I don't really know about this Al guy. That doesn't sound much like Latin to me.
Could an underground city have remained a secret for all this time? Could people have survived down there, against the odds? It seems there's only one way to find out. If I'm not back in an hour, I'm somewhere on the other side. Consider this an invitation, or a warning. Al Worth.
The Romans were famous for their voodoo curses, of course. Now, wait, what? What? Well, this... Man, fuck you, floor. A golden crab fixed permanently in place. Well, something tells me I have to go down there, and I was supposed to fall in. Can I go back to the lady and be like, hey, I think I figured out what happened to Al, but you're probably not going to believe me. An ancient Roman statue of an unknown man in an inscrutable pose. One hand seems to welcome and the other warns. Nope. Nope. Alright. That statue's Al. Well, I suppose let's ride the fun elevator. We got water and swimming and a breath gauge in the corner. The game is upset. Wow. Jump in the pit. It's just like, man, it's dark as shit. And I was like, the game literally gave me one thing so far, and that's a flashlight. Wow. Those are solid gold. That's a lot of money. But all of these statues look very distressed. Creepy whispers. Okay, that tracks. Hey, look, I need some new solid gold statues to decorate my temple, but you need to make all of them in just states of abject terror and just really as creepy as possible. A young Roman woman in a pose of lamentation. Yeah, look at that face. She doesn't look pleased. I can just dump my DPI a bit, but if it does require me to be quicker later on, I'll have to turn it back up. A Roman gladiator mid-stride. What could have made a gladiator flee? This is the sound of like a sharpening blade or something constantly, which is not awesome. Okay, now that sounded like some Latin. There are lots of these things. But there are also lots of spaces where they're not anymore. A young Roman woman looks like she was begging for her life. Cool, cool, cool. Right? I don't know if you can hear that sound while on stream. Sounds like metal scraping on the ground or something. Yeah, no one had a great time here is what I'm finding so far. It's F5 what? That just fucking turned its head to look at me. 100% that thing has turned its head. A little more game volume, okay. Don't know if it will get super loud. A Roman military commander attempting to scramble away from something. A Roman legionary in a state of terror. What fucked all of you guys up? By that, I mean something turned you all to solid gold. It is more investigation, but there's some creepies. Some tension aspect. It's not like an Amnesia style game. They're all just super afraid of the flashlight. Roman woman who appears to be praying for help that never came. Well, I think we found Al. A golden statue of an old man wearing modern clothing. This must be Al. But how is that possible?
To whoever reads this, I'm sorry you had to find me like this. And worse, that you'll suffer the same fate I did. I've spent a lifetime in this place, going around and around in circles, searching for a way out. The inscription was right. There is no way back. In here, there are only two options. Death, and that godforsaken doorway into the past. I made the mistake of stepping through it.
Oh, that doorway you mean?
Right. And I tried. I really tried. Whatever I did, it took me right back to the beginning. Don't make the same mistake. Better to end it all now, and find out what awaits you beyond that portal.
I mean, Al, I'm not gonna lie. If you wanted people to not go in the portal, you needed to make it sound less intriguing. Just a big fat, if you go in the portal, you'll die. Turn around, get a rescue team. A young Roman woman a state of panic. I don't know why I'm here, creepy whisper. God, you tell me. I'm also so very pleased to see that the new computer that has been assembled, a new old computer, again, courtesy of Teddy and Beans, some very generous individuals. This is, it's very nice to be able to run things on nice settings and not have it stutter and poop its pants trying to stream. Not much further. Something's trying to creep me into this thing. Man, I really don't feel like there's a way this giant-ass cave would go unfound. Like, there's a Parthenon-ass building up there. Yeah, I know. Oh shit, it's Chrono Trigger. You can't see it. It says, updated main goal, forget me not. Step through the doorway into the past. Yeah. Dope if Chrono Trigger had a Roman time section. New main goal, point of origin. Figure out how to return to your original time. Okay. Still a little different.
Salve, friend. I'm Galerius. Mind telling me who you are and what you were doing in this
well, yep, it's time travel. Time to try and leave. Just be straight up. I've just come from the future. Wait, are you speaking English?
What? I'm speaking Latin. You are too, although your accent's a little strange.
Oh god, we've been isekai'd.
Changing the subject like that, nice try. But I'll ask again. Who are you?
Alright, Galerius. Shrine of Proserpina?
Goddess of springtime? You're not from around here, are you? And you've just done it again. You're a sly one, aren't you?
Ah,
One more time.
Galerius, I keep trying.
And what were you doing in that shrine?
I'm Dave, and I've just come from the future.
No idea what you're talking about. Oh, wait. Are you a bit, you know, not right in the head?
Alright.
That's alright, friend. Everyone's welcome here.
So no one else knows about going to the future. But seriously, what's today's date?
We sort of lose track of the date down here, but it feels like the beginning of spring to me, so I'd say early March?
But what year?
It's 817 AUC. Sorry, you look confused. 817 years since the founding of Rome. Which part of the empire are you from, exactly?
Doesn't help me. Is this before or after Christ? Archaeologist insight, so it's 65 CE, or never mind. We're gonna go with from D's. D's future. So it's 65 CE?
No idea what you're talking about. But listen, most folks seem a bit confused when they get here, but
suppose that's a valid question if you're ever transported back.
So let me make this nice and simple for you. Live by our laws,
Yeah.
and we'll all get along just fine.
We could have kept that one to ourselves. Your laws?
Not laws, law. There's just one, the golden rule, and the punishment for breaking it's, well, it's kind of horrific. But
Yeah.
our magistrate insists we take all newcomers to see him, so I guess I'll let him fill you in. So then, you coming?
Alright, lead the way.
When I first arrived, I couldn't believe that.
Tap E to follow your guide. Oh, okay.
As you can see,
I was like trying to tap it. I was like, no way, I cannot do this fast enough. You just press it once and you can follow him.
moment, if you count the 3 who are missing. No idea how, since
No elbows on the table. This is the one rule.
big and dark enough to get lost in if you're not careful.
Aren't you going to introduce me to your handsome new friend, Galerius?
hide behind Galerius.
I'm taking him to see the magistrate.
That pompous old bore won't be magistrate for much longer. Anyone who helps vote him out today drinks at my bar for free tonight.
Damn, I don't think I'm allowed to vote.
I'd stay clear of it and her if I were you. She's, it's not my place to say. Down on your right is our farm, where I grow all the food you'll ever want. As long as all you want is leek, cabbage, and wheat.
Nice, nice, nice.
Ah, that one usually gets a chuckle.
She's not.
Bloodless shadows
Oh boy.
wander without flesh or bone.
Ah, don't mind Livia.
Salve to you too, ma'am.
Well, she's just been in a bad place since.
I don't know what that means. I can't speak Latin.
What happened to her? Up here on your right is the chasm. If you've got a weapon, it belongs way down at the bottom. Up on your left
This is very pretty.
the forum, where you can visit the market or get yourself patched up in Lucretia's clinic in the Shrine of Apollo. Most of us have almost nothing, just what we had on us when we arrived, and what we've been able to make and scrounge up since. And this central plateau is where the magistrate and the other patricians live, so don't expect a warm welcome.
Hilarious. You're meant to be working the farm, not trudging dirt into the villas.
Take it easy, Horatius.
It is pretty
I should
damn
take
dirty
young
now that I
friend
look.
here to see the magistrate.
Well, he's asked me to escort the newcomer personally. The farm. Go. Now.
You'd better go with him. But just remember, they're not like you and me. Don't let them use you.
What was that?
Okay.
What did you just say?
I said it'll take some getting used to.
Yeah, I'm watching you, farm boy.
Bye, Galerius.
Citizen, my name's Horatius. Magistrate Sentius asked me to escort you to him personally. Follow me, please.
What's this about?
I expect the magistrate wants to brief you about the Golden Rule. It shouldn't take too long. He's busy preparing for the election later today.
Alright, lead the way.
Follow me. The only thing you really need to understand right now is the Golden Rule. Let me see if I can explain it this way.
Never walk on the grass.
When I was serving in the Legion, if there was a mutiny brewing in one cohort, the legate in charge wouldn't waste time finding the bad apples among hundreds.
Oh, decimation.
They just divided us into groups of 10, made us draw straws, and whoever drew the short straw had to be executed by the other 9. Didn't matter whether he'd done anything wrong. One of us in 10 would die for the crimes of the collective. We call it decimation.
Yeah, Romans were hardcore.
You're in for a rude shock, because the Golden Rule is exactly 10 times worse. The magistrate can explain the rest. Who's up these stairs?
Ugh, this place has become a thoroughfare.
I don't know what that means. I'm a thoroughfare? Does that mean it's lame? It's a pretty nice fucking building. Hello, magistrate.
We're finally alone.
Just shout, I love gold. Shoot somebody, turn everyone to gold.
May I know your name?
Dave.
A curious name to match a curious accent.
Oh,
But I digress.
like too many people wandering through.
And astute eyes of a man of great
Okay.
learning. We're always happy to welcome another scholar to our little community.
Suppose I am an
Equity
archaeologist
will be
historian.
delighted to meet you, I'm sure. Now, you're probably wondering why I summoned you, and I'll get to that. But first, take a look at this wondrous place, would you? A secret city built deep in the mountains, many hundreds of years ago.
It's beautiful.
Indeed. More importantly, consider the miraculous community we've built here over the last 7 months.
Oop.
22 complete strangers brought together by the fates, living and working together in our own little
So there's 22 people, but the other guy said
time. Not
he's a
single
he's a
single
classic
has
quiet
been
talker.
dead. No fights.
Aren't we just so great?
Nothing. Have you ever witnessed something so extraordinary? as a
Again,
city without sin?
22 people does not a city make. The fact that a group of 22 people haven't beaten each other up or killed anyone for 8 months, that's, I mean, good job. Good job. Not bad. But, like, come on now. Do that with, like, 2,000 people, not have any fights, and then, well, better. Suppose, ever witnessed something so, I mean, if that's your definition of a city, Yeah, I've been camping for many months with small groups of people, and we didn't beat each other up.
Well, I'm not sure I believe.
Well, I'm not sure I believe
The
you.
reason for this miracle is as simple as it is terrifying. If even one person commits a sin here, every last one of us will die. You see, the builders of this place, whoever they were, left inscriptions warning, "The many shall suffer for the sins of the one." From what we can gather, breaking the law here will anger the gods and provoke a terrible punishment. Like the curses of Medusa and Midas combined, turning us all to gold. We've come to call it the Golden Rule. It's extraordinary that we've survived
We are
as long as we have.
creative.
Each day I grow more and more afraid that our time in the sun is almost up. And now it seems that day is finally here.
And this guy definitely went to the Littlefinger school.
Yeah,
What is a sin?
Why else would Proserpina send you now? Unless you and I can stop them, our doom is assured. I know that's a lot to
Proserpina.
take in, and you look like
That's a
you have
name.
questions. Please, ask away.
Well, Jeff needs to know if farting is a sin. What counts as a sin here?
Intelligent question. There was a good deal of debate about that in our first weeks here. Does it refer to crimes or to some other ill-defined wrong? Of course, everyone agrees on the basics. No theft,
Okay.
no assault,
Okay.
and certainly no murder.
Fair.
But beyond that, it was more difficult to reach a consensus. What about lying, insulting someone, blasphemy, trespass, trying to escape, bribery, infidelity, suicide?
I'm the kind of person.
Magistrate, I had to exercise leadership, and so I made a decision. We must uphold the laws of the Empire to a standard never before seen. And we must honor the peace of the gods, the sacred accord between the gods and the people of Rome. It is only by offering the gods the proper respect that we may prosper, as Rome has for centuries.
I mean, I'm not sure if that's a good idea. What is legal isn't always moral, and many of your laws and customs are considered barbaric from where I'm from.
Barbaric? Barbaric? What are you talking about? The Empire is the most civilizing force in the known world. Rome is a beacon of light in the darkness. For 800 years she has borne great statesmen, philosophers, poets, artists, and engineers. We have comprehensive laws protecting the rights of our citizens, which have unified countless warring tribes all across the Mediterranean and beyond, from Gallia to Judea. All our citizens are treated the same, regardless of the color of their skin or their sexual preference. Can you say the same? When our people are
On
starved,
paper,
they're given food
in
rations.
theory, in
And
practice,
when they are
no.
wronged, they have the right to bring the guilty party before the magistrate.
Not even in theory
Our laws
either.
forbid treason, murder, assault, and rape, as well as theft and arson, and so on. No other civilization in the world is so advanced, and you have the hubris to call us barbaric?
That was a test, Sentius. I insulted you. And, look. We're still here. Don't your laws allow slave ownership?
What else would we do with those prisoners of war who would otherwise have been executed? And besides, there are laws for their protection as well.
Many people watch blood sports, or I mean,
But our gladiators are almost all
we watch
volunteers
UFC
seeking
fights.
glory, or condemned prisoners who would have been executed anyway.
You don't usually have death
You
row
see the harm.
fist fights, Luke Cage style, but
Of
don't
course,
women have fewer rights than
fewer
men?
rights come fewer responsibilities, and the right to be protected by their fathers and husbands.
Don't you persecute
You mean the
Christians?
blasphemous cult responsible for burning down half of Rome last year. It's hard to blame the people for being angry about that.
Don't you practice collective
Are you
punishment?
talking about our practice of decimation? Of course. We could hardly unite all these warring tribes without a disciplined, formidable legion.
So we just murder stuff. Where I'm from, we consider those things to be abhorrent.
You're a long, long way
from home.
Yeah, all of these are pretty failed explanations for why.
Unfortunately, there are still those here who resist, whispering blasphemous and treasonous lies. in the shadows.
Don't women have less rights than men? Yeah, but yeah, you know, it's Rome. We're awesome. What do you mean when you said Proserpina sent me?
In my search for a way to save my people, I learned of an ancient ritual to Proserpina, the goddess.
Yeah, makes sense to him as a Roman from
It's said to open a
65
doorway in
CE.
time, so that if the unthinkable happens, one person can pass through it and travel back to the past. And when I saw you arrive in a flash of light from the goddess's shrine, I knew that person was you. You don't belong in our time, do you?
Yeah, I do. You're right. I'm from 2,000 years in the future.
That is unfathomable. Please tell me, in your time, what did you see? What had become of us, of this city?
You'd all been turned into golden statues.
Our downfall 1,000 times, but it still breaks my heart to hear the truth of it.
You guys done fucked up and you found out. These questions will be available later still. How does the ritual work?
Is that it's a ritual sacrifice to Proserpina.
Proserpina.
I stumbled across instructions. I have to recite a prayer, and of course, as with all rituals, some sacrifice is involved. Usually that means wine or food, or in some cases a live animal. In this case, the sacrifice is rather more costly. The life of the person performing the ritual.
Interesting.
I don't suppose you saw any sign of me in the future?
Did see human remains in the temple.
I assume that was me. If I'm forced to perform the ritual, it's going to cost me everything. You'll try to make sure I don't need to use it, won't you?
Do my best, I suppose.
That's all I can ask for.
Why can't you investigate?
You're in the best position to go around asking people questions. You're new here, and it'll seem perfectly normal. As for me,
I mean, that
well,
actually makes sense.
it pains me to say my attempts to impose order have not earned me many friends. I fear I may not even remain magistrate after today's election. The people here would only treat my curiosity with suspicion. You shouldn't have that problem, though, unless, of course, you get off on the wrong foot.
Fair enough. Yeah. Do you have any
You
suspects?
ever stare at a problem for so long that you can't see it for what it is.
Yeah, the voice acting and writing in this is great.
Is a fresh pair of
And the animation is like, it's
the
good
less
enough.
I
It doesn't
prejudice the
detract or
independence of
anything.
your investigation.
Especially for being made by 3 people. How do I know you're not the person responsible?
Why would you suspect me? I've just told you. I'm about to sacrifice my own life to
I don't have
ensure
any
these
proof of that,
people
though.
Have a second chance. What reason could you possibly have to suspect me, of all people?
Fair point.
I'm glad you think so. Without trust, without each other, we won't be able to prevent what...
Don't let him know that I don't trust him whatsoever. And tell me what you really think.
Well, all right. There are those who wish to vote me out of office so that they can pursue their own misguided political agenda. Frankly, their selfishness and recklessness risk destabilizing the entire city. I would be looking very carefully at them.
Yes, of course. If I do this, will you help me get back to my own time? I don't know how he would help me.
That problem should take care of itself. Let me see if I can explain. If you manage to prevent the sin that breaks the Golden Rule, I won't need to bring you here. I won't create the portal, and you will never have been able to come here. Thus, you'll have created a paradox. If this occurs, you should be flung back to your own time, having changed the past for all of us. Make sense?
Yeah, I guess. Sure, why not? It says, I've now figured out how to get back to my own time. My new goal is create a time paradox. Yeah, you seem to understand a lot about time travel paradox for someone who's from a time in history before the movie Looper was, or not Looper. Whichever the one, like Pi or something. The one that needs like a flowchart and an engineering degree to follow. Alright, I'm in.
Now, I need you to investigate the city. Talk to everyone. Help them, if it'll win their trust. I authorize you to enter private homes and inspect possessions and documents, unless, of course, you're asked to leave.
Okay.
Figure out who the culprit is, and as soon as you have a name, come back and tell me immediately.
Alright. I will start wandering.
I'd start my investigation by visiting Lucretia at the Shrine of Apollo in the Forum. I heard wailing from there not long ago.
Find out what's distressing Lucretia. It's a new task. I'll see what I can do. Alright, now since I have permission to fuck with things, quest tracking tip. To see the objective markers for a given quest, click on the eye icon next to it. It's over here. Well, Dying Gasp is the one. This is just literally figure out who's most likely to break the golden rule, create a time paradox, which is probably one of the best quest goals I've been given in a video game in quite some time. Alright, Sentius. Centilla to Sentius. May Jupiter, Optimus, Maximus continue to protect and guide you. Thank you for making me your daughter, and for the lovely birthday pendant. I promise we'll wear it always. I feel so safe and fortunate to have you as my father and Sentia as my sister. I sense you've been feeling apprehensive about the election next month. But if you can just show them the strong and dependable man I know you to be, you will be re-elected. I'm sure of it. There's only one page. Okay, so he's got an adopted daughter. You told me I could look through stuff, my dude. Wait. Can I just steal things? I feel like that's such a poor idea. I want to try it and just be like, alright, step one, what if I break the golden rule? Carrots are purple, as they were before modern orange carrots were cultivated. Stove. It's no doubt unpleasant cooking with such poor ventilation, but Romans probably regard that as their servant's problem. A shovel. Shovel made of bronze. It smells like ash. You don't have to try and guide me. I'm looking around.
I wish Horatius would stop letting barbarians in here. What do you want?
What's your story?
I'm Sentia, eldest daughter of the magistrate. But you'd know that if you'd been invited in here and introduced properly. What are you doing in here? And why are you dressed like that?
Charming. What do you think about the golden rule?
Some say it's the creation of an all-seeing god who's watching everything we do. But what kind of an awful, incompetent god would let my sister go missing on his or her watch?
Fair question.
You hear that? Curse you, you coward! Where is my sister?
So we can scratch
No
cursing the gods off the list.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, well, at least we know blasphemy doesn't break the golden rule.
This mysterious god of ours
I'm gonna go test thievery in a moment after quick saving.
It really is just a children's fable my father is exploiting to frighten us into behaving.
I have a way to find out. I suppose we'll find out sooner or later.
We will.
You know, way out of here?
What is it with you people? You heard the rumor that my little sister escaped and figure I must know a way out too. Is that it? Well, that's just a stupid rumor. We have no idea what happened to Scintilla. I wish you mouth breathers would just leave me alone.
Can I help?
I don't know. Can you? Can you tell me how a person could have disappeared from a city with no exits and no crime? Was she snatched away by the harpies?
When did you last see her?
It was 3 weeks ago. We ate our
Yeah, we do know the golden
together,
rule is
and
real.
I remember she seemed happy. In love. We went into our rooms. I went to sleep. And when I woke up, she was gone. That's it.
She was seeing someone?
I think so, yes. But she was very careful about keeping his identity a secret, even from me.
What's that?
Because our father had plans to marry her off, eventually, and even a rumor about her attachment to some mystery man might have ruined those plans.
My first thought was just dead at the bottom of the chasm, but could be fucking in the chasm. Your father didn't mention any of this when I spoke to him. Any idea why?
That doesn't surprise me. To him, it was like a prize cow wandering off from its paddock. He's upset, of course,
Ugh.
but he says he's too busy with the election to help look for her. So he's letting Horatius do the heavy lifting. Some good that's done.
Is it possible her lover was involved?
I don't know, but it's been 3 weeks since she disappeared, and he hasn't come forward. That might speak to a guilty conscience.
She's a little
All I know
cross-eyed,
is,
and it's
whoever he is,
distracting
he's
me.
still here in the city.
Sentia, Scintilla, why are all your names so
You
similar?
really aren't from here, are you? All Roman women are named after their fathers. I think it's their way of branding us, like cattle to be sold at market. His family name is Sentius, so I'm Sentia because I'm the eldest. And my little sister is formerly Sentia Minor, but she is affectionately known as Scintilla.
You look surprisingly relaxed about
I
your
hope
sister's
you're not
disappearance.
insinuating I'm somehow pleased with her disappearance.
I think you know something you're not telling me.
You're awful.
Okay. Where's your room? For no reason. You just not want to talk to me anymore?
Do I need to ask?
No. Yeah, she's mad now. That's alright, I'll come see you and you won't even remember we had this conversation, I bet. Found your room, God, lady. Okay, well first, F5 is quick save. And it said F9 is quick load. It's testing, it doesn't do like a checkpoint thing and it just actually loads me. Fabulous. Let's go test if thievery breaks the golden rule. Little scan.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
They're alive!
That is crazy that it works, but I'm not gonna... Oh, interesting. It does tell you breaking the golden rule isn't allowed. We recommend following the magistrate. Golden rule. 100% exists. So let's not steal anyone's money. Brass has been polished into a rudimentary mirror, which has been used for applying makeup. Brass jar containing some type of powder for makeup. Your diary. Today my father suggested I write a diary as a way of keeping myself occupied while we deal with the sudden and devastating disappearance of my sister. As a dutiful daughter, of course I shall oblige. The following pages contain my innermost secrets. I know you're reading this, Father. I may be young, but do not think me stupid. We're all entitled to our secrets. Sentia. Small vial, rudimentary perfume made from flowers and oil. And a sculpture of Ares. The Roman equivalent of putting a hot guy rock poster on your wall. Ink jar. The brass mirror. Scintilla's chest. Just some money. Suppose we can try telling Sentius. Like, hey bro. Maybe she had something to do with it. Unless he also just like left. Alright, we'll start going to the Shrine of Apollo. It's a patented way of opening doors. Just ram your face into it. Oh yeah, hey guy. Dramatically turn around and look at me, please. I'm going to ask some questions about my investigation. That's all the questions I had. We talk about who's going to break the golden rule. That would be just a pot shot. It's your daughter.
Why then did you say it looks like you'll have to... Sextus Sentius Imperiosus is my name, though magistrate is the proper way to address me. Before I wound up here, I was a decurion in the cavalry of Imperial Rome, helping protect civilization from the barbarians. It's a cavalry.
What's a decurion?
I had 30 men under my command. This was my uniform. As magistrate, I usually wear a toga, but today I may need to survive long enough to create the portal for you, so it seemed prudent.
How did you end up here?
The Emporium in Rome as honor guard for a visiting dignitary arriving upriver by barge. Now the port is usually bustling, but just as our guests arrived, waves of people began running toward the river from streets and alleyways in every direction. They were trying to escape a terrible fire. Unfortunately, the crowd sent my horse into a panic, and I remember it losing its footing by the water's edge. The next thing I knew, I was waking up on a riverbank not far from here in the company of some stranger. I went looking for my horse and discovered that lonely temple.
So you fell down the chute too?
Figure out the rest.
You got Willy Wonka too. How'd you come to be magistrate?
Uncontested because of my command experience. Since then, there's been growing agitation for another election. They're supposed to be annual, but I agreed to hold it sooner, hoping it would placate my constituents. Unfortunately, it just seems to have emboldened certain elements.
Okay, Horatius.
Very well.
Thank you. Better get back to it. Well, actually, I mean, I kind of know how he feels about the golden rule, but I suppose we'll ask.
I've had plenty of time to think about it. Let me see if I can sum up my thoughts. I've always considered my guiding star to be the well-being of the Roman people. Our survival and prosperity have always hinged upon honoring the peace of the gods, the sacred accord between the gods and the people of Rome. Give the gods what they want and we all prosper. Dishonor them and we all die. It's as simple as that. The real enemy in this place is not the golden rule, but human failings. The temptation to slide into degeneracy, greed, and hubris. I trust that answers your question.
I suppose. Do you know a way out of here?
If I did, I'd have led some people out of
Shit,
here
had to try.
already.
Well, better get back to it. Didn't the guard guy walk by me or something? Just like keep an eye out for it, and then just left. Is this the gladiator guy that was running?
What were you two talking about?
Sorry, what?
Don't play dumb. I saw you. Having a shady little chat with old man Sentius up on his balcony. What's he
Oh,
offering?
welcome past Fisto.
Favors? What's your vote worth to him?
We weren't talking about the
What else have you
election.
been murmuring about on election day? Mark my words, Malleolus is going to be magistrate by the end of the day. And if I tell him you've sided with that feeble old has-been, that you've been trying to undermine his hard-won victory, you'll have picked the wrong patron. Got it?
I wasn't thinking of interfering, but now I
You
am.
just made a big mistake. Malleolus is going to hear all about this, and he'll make you suffer the tortures of Tartarus while you're still alive.
Good luck with that.
Dite.
Enjoy your push-ups, bud. Alright, we'll go to the forum. Oh no. So far, everyone I've talked to has ended up mad at me. Wow, great start.
Name's Rufius. Better watch your step.
Hello, Rufius. It's your story.
Talk long. Got to stay sharp, but family's from Seleucia on Tigris, Babylon province. But I've been roaming a long time now. Even joined the legions, the 6th, the one they call Ironclads.
How'd you end up here?
Same way as everyone else.
Fair. Why are you still wearing your legionary armor?
Danger. Is it not obvious?
Fair. Why don't you have a weapon?
Magistrate made me toss it in the chasm. Stupid. Going to have to improvise now.
Not much of a talker, are you?
Dealing with what I am, you wouldn't be either.
What are you dealing
None
with?
of your business. In Troite ipsum commensura.
Boy howdy, I sure wish
Have to.
my character could learn some Latin. You know way out of here?
If I did, do you think we'd be having this conversation?
Most likely not. What do you think about the golden rule?
I'll tell you this much. I hate the fact that my survival depends on the common sense of other people.
Well, I feel you on that one. I know the feeling. I've lived through a pandemic.
Then you know what I'm talking about. I mean, all these people just bumble along like nothing's wrong. Well, we're one bad decision away from being wiped out. Like the last lot of people who lived here. Seems like I'm the only one ready for what's coming. Whatever that is. And when it hits, it's everyone for themselves. You've been warned.
Fair. What do you think is coming?
No. But did you ever get the feeling some of these statues are watching us when we're not looking? Like they're waiting for something. I don't like it.
I think you're
Of course
right.
I am.
What are you going to vote for?
Malleolus. Not sure I trust Sentius. Couldn't even protect his daughter in a city without sin. How's he going to protect us?
Anything I can do to change that?
No.
Alright.
Whatever.
Okay. I mean, the statues definitely are creeperific. I still have my flashlight. Jesus, like, I'm from the future. Observe my handheld torch. Like, I absolutely saw one of the statues turn its head when we were in the future. Oh yeah, we tried stealing. It started summoning statues and they came alive. Like, we broke the golden rule and it was go time. Stranger who does not seem to be doing too hot.
Give me a moment. Sorry I'm such a mess. I just lost a patient.
Oh, she dead.
Dear friend.
Well, I guess that's not doing so hot.
Julia. She was a good woman.
What
She was
happens?
poisoned. She came in here frothing at the mouth. Normally I'd treat her with resin of silphium, a rare plant which is perfect for this sort of thing. And I knew Decius had some at his market stall, right around the corner. So I ran over there, but he just looks at me with this evil smile and says, "That'll be 1,000 denarii." There was no way I could afford that, and he knew it.
Then that toad shrugs and says, supply and demand. I guess you don't value your friend's life that highly. Anywhere else, I'd just pay a thug to steal it from his stall. But there's no way I can do that down here with the golden rule. So all I could do is come back here and just watch her die. I kept on apologizing. And now I'll never know who poisoned her, or how they managed to do it without breaking the golden rule.
Yeah, how did they kill her without the golden rule?
Eyes with her dying breath.
A snake's cruel black eyes.
Unless you have the power to bring someone back from the dead, there's really just one thing you can do. Get me that silphium resin. I'm going to have another patient in here soon. Could be in the next day or in the next hour. And I will not allow this to happen again. I don't care how you get it, but you have to make it happen. Because if I lose another patient this way, I swear to the gods below, not even the golden rule will stop me from marching up to that Genetricum Fututo and scratching his eyes out.
Sure, I'll get right on it.
If you get sick or injured, day or night, I'll do what I can.
Yeesh, the medical tools. Herbrex. A locked old chest I don't have a key to. Say anything else?
Feeling all right?
Yeah, what's your story?
And I'm going to be straight with you. I'm not a physician. This is Nevia's clinic.
I'm not a doctor.
I've just been filling in ever since she disappeared. I'm tired and out of my depth and miserable all the time. But I'd rather take this on myself than let one of you lot mess it up.
That's a mood right there.
My husband and I moved to Rome from Caesarea. He embraced the Roman way more than I would have liked and turned into an awful philanderer. I would have divorced him and demanded the return of my dowry, but I knew he would sooner have me killed than give me my right. So I waited for the right time to take what was mine and disappear. And then the fires came. As he prepared to evacuate our villa, I gathered our most precious belongings, coins and gemstones, and the moment the back was turned, I ran. I could barely see for the smoke, and the streets were full of people trampling each other. I ran for the river, like everyone else, and leapt in. The next thing I remember, I was waking up on a riverbank, not far from here.
Sorry to hear that.
Say what you will about this place. At least my fornicating husband...
My fucking husband will never find me.
And while there's no shortage of snakes here, at least with the golden rule, they have to try to be discreet about it.
Why are you working out of a shrine?
This shrine was in use as a clinic long before any of us arrived here. Kind of strange to set up a clinic in the temple of the god of disease. But the god who inflicts a curse is also the only god who can undo it. So I suppose praying to Apollo for healing kind of makes sense. Well, she used to run the clinic. She was a midwife, not a physician, but she was the closest thing we had down here. And she was good too.
Okay.
Until she suddenly lost all interest in us. One day she told me she'd made some profound discovery about the golden statues. This changes everything, she kept saying. But I had no idea what she was talking about. The last time I saw her, the last time any of us saw her, she was muttering to the statues, like she could talk to them. And then she shut herself in the palace, barred the door from the inside, and nobody's seen her since. She's been gone so long now, we figure she's either dead or up to something so strange that she doesn't want anyone else to know about it. But I really
okay.
Because that's the only hope I have of solving a troubling problem, a real thorn in the paw situation. One of my patients is suffering from terrible rheumatism. His joints are inflamed and he's in constant pain. I really shouldn't say. He wouldn't like it. and he's a little bit scary. He's become so irritable that the smallest things set him off, and I worry he'll end up losing his temper and lashing out. And you know what that means. I just know Nevia would know how to treat him, assuming she's still alive. But nobody seems to know how to get into the palace.
I'll get right on it.
That would be wonderful. Thank you. Let me know how you go.
Okay. It's creepy. Also, first we'll check out the market stall thing.
Ah, a fellow traveler from a faraway land.
Hello.
I'm Georgius. It gladdens me to see another foreigner in our midst. We must stick together, you and I.
Your shirt
And
is
I
very
must
white.
say, my sartorial friend, your clothing is most extraordinary. Leather boots in place of sandals, trousers with precise stitching, and such a curious design. I have traveled
Curious.
trade routes from the markets of Damascus to the farms of
Damascus. I like his accent.
Never have I seen anyone dressed quite like you. Tell me, I must know. From which exotic part of the world do you hail?
Do you hail? Never believe me if I told you.
More intrigued than before. But since it appears you do not wish to share, I will wait until we are better friends. We will have much time here to get to know one another. But for now, do you require assistance? I know you do not require clothing, so information perhaps?
I want to... Yeah, what's your story?
My story? How kind of you to ask. I am a tailor and I run the humble shop.
So far, Georgius seems very pleasant. I set up a tailor shop here.
With all the turmoil and terror of the Golden Rule, and so few customers, why bother setting shop at all? I'll tell you, it is precisely because of the Golden Rule that I wish to remind my friends of the importance of looking one's best. I say, the more of our customs we preserve down here, the more we can preserve a semblance of normality, the better our chances of keeping our...
I can get on board. Yeah, I suppose so.
And there is another reason too. If we all end up as golden statues for future generations to marvel at, I don't know about you, but I would like to look my best.
Alright, Georgius, I'm down. How'd you end up here, man?
A very good question.
A question?
And I would be happy to tell you if only I could remember it clearly myself.
That's fair. Why don't you tell me what you remember?
I remember I had just been to Rome to sell an extraordinary selection of wares, and droning in coin
No,
to celebrate my success.
Georgius was a little flush with cash.
Invited over a few select friends, and we began making our way through some of the most exquisite wine.
Georgius doesn't quite remember because he was hammered.
Now, I have had visions and awoken in strange places before. I have even found myself naked in the desert sands more than once. But
More than once?
This time, I remember people screaming, then falling into a void as empty as time before creation, gasping for air, and then nothing. When I regained my faculties, I was lying naked by the banks of the Tiber, gods know how many miles from my villa.
So you floated down the Tiber?
I'm lucky I was carrying a little extra weight. I believe it kept me afloat. In any case, it seems I'd been rescued and resuscitated by a benevolent stranger.
Was her name fucking Karen? Oh, okay, his campfire.
Across a cave and discovered that trapdoor temple, and here I am.
Think about something else, bud. Your way out of here?
Not so loud. What are you playing at?
Sorry, did I say the wrong thing?
Been told about the last attempt.
The last attempt?
Then I suppose this duty falls to me. It is a long story.
Well, I'd like to hear you talk, so let me know. Why don't you tell me?
Of course, the first question any of us asks when we first arrive is, how do I escape? It is only natural after all. And scaling the chasm wall is out of the question, for it is simply too steep and too far.
Too steep, too far.
If the wind fails, use the oars. And here the second option is to leave the way we came in, through the shaft above the bathhouse. See, the shaft is quite high, but if one gathered up enough wood, one could make a series of ladders and climb one's way out.
Why hasn't anyone done that yet? Okay.
There was an attempt made by resourceful fellows who lived here some years ago. They even decided to keep records of their escape attempt for posterity. Unfortunately, as soon as they began to carry the first ladder down the hallway, they heard a godlike voice saying the entire city, and that, tragically, is where their tale ends. So it seems that to merely attempt escape is to invite the wrath of whichever god oversees this place. And so I say, it is best to not even discuss it aloud.
Okay, got it, thanks. What do you think of the golden rule?
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one. As a Greek, this is nothing new to me. That's how our gods operate.
Why do you say that?
Have you not heard the tale of the god Hades? He was the first to learn this dreadful lesson when he abducted Persephone and imprisoned her in the underworld. When Demeter, the mother of Persephone, learned of this, she did not punish Hades, the guilty one. Instead, she changed the climate of Earth so that it became hot and dry. Nothing grew. The grain turned to empty husks and the rivers dried up. Innocent people died by the tens of thousands until at last the other gods were forced to act, lest they have no worshippers left. So yes, we know this rule. This has always been the case. The golden rule has merely brought it into focus.
The focus. What can we do about it?
We are to survive. I say we must each heed the simple wisdom of Thales of Miletus, first of the 7 sages of Greece, who said, "Avoid doing what you would blame others for doing."
Easier said than done.
I think you are correct, my friend. For even if 99% of us adopt this principle, that will never be enough. Sadly, no matter how well we protect ourselves, the life's work of many good people can be undone in the blink of an eye by a single selfish act.
I know, I've seen it happen.
The voice of experience. I am sorry for your loss, my friend. But on a lighter note, I will say one thing for the golden rule. For all their grim and haunting poses, these golden statues do make magnificent models for my clothing, do they not?
Who are you gonna vote for?
It's quite the dilemma. But after some reflection, I'm leaning toward voting for Malleolus. I do not enjoy the thought of another visit from Domitius if I voted the wrong way.
Anything I can do to change that? I'll be going now.
Cross again soon, my friend.
Gorgeous is kind of a bro. I was thinking maybe I need to fix the gamma a little bit because it's too bright. But he's normal now, but when we were talking to him, he had bright ass shirt. What's the clanging from?
Greetings and salutations.
You thought my clothes were crazy? Check this out. Nothing. Okay. It's pretty funny. He just dresses the statues up. I can. Silphium resin. Well, if I steal it, then everyone will die. Unless, I wonder if I steal it and then hightail my ass out of here. Hey. Who are you? Just walking by being like, hello.
Do I owe the pleasure of this visit?
I'm not making you a bow.
What's your story?
Oh my. I take it people are quite direct where you're from. I suppose it's quite charming in its own way. Usually, however, you wouldn't simply march up to a Vestal priestess and without due formality or courtesy ask, "What is your story?" The proper approach would be to arrange an introduction through a mutual acquaintance in high office.
Yeah, I don't have time for that.
You would already know how to address me. And then you would find a way to satisfy your curiosity rather more indirectly. But to be honest, I've often thought what an unnecessarily formal way to communicate that is.
You're not wrong.
Let's do it your way. You just keep being yourself and ask whatever you like. It'll be a refreshing change.
Alright. shit, we got a raid going on. What up, everybody?
I'm not entirely sure.
Welcome, welcome to the D-pad. We are trying out the Forgotten City.
Karen, you say? And nothing about that name seemed odd to you.
It's an older name, but not uncommon where I'm from.
I see. I wonder if... No.
What were you going to say?
I apologize. I don't mean to be cryptic. It's just that you've got me thinking.
Yeah, the eyes are a little strange.
About how they arrived here too. I really think you should. Go around and ask them what they remember and see if you notice any patterns.
You're being a bit coy.
I know. I just don't want to see what happened to Livia happen to you too.
I may have already noticed a pattern.
Then what is it?
People mentioned a river.
Yes. I understand many of our friends were carried here by a river current. What else?
And people mentioned an encounter with a stranger on the riverbank.
I also had such an encounter. What else?
That's all I noticed.
There are definitely some common threads there.
Alright, so we're going to need a little bit more.
At least a few to ensure we're not just seeing coincidences.
Let me see if there's specifically a dialogue option.
And dictates we should be sure. Yes, you should ask the others first.
Coming back to you in just a second.
Ave again. Did you find what you need?
A little bit louder. What's the status of the election?
By dusk, just the same as any other official business. It'll be between Sentius, the incumbent, and Malleolus, the challenger. Why do you ask? Sir.
We'll come back to her. That, God, the menu clunk is so loud. It's going to turn it up in general as well.
Ave again. Did you find what you need? Come back.
Alright, that should be a little bit louder. That's creepy. I did see a quest about getting a bow. That just kind of popped up as we were looking at other stuff. List of things Decius plans to buy once he's escaped. Villa on the Aventine Rome, 2-horse chariot, seat on the Senate, 4-horse chariot, villa on the Bay of Naples, 10-horse chariot, 12 slave girls, pale and plump. It's got grand plans. Small household shrine.
Salve, stranger, and welcome to our idyllic little slice of the Empire. I'm Decius. Terrible shame what happened to Yulia, but we just have to carry on, don't we?
What's your
And
story?
how did I end up here? That is a lengthy tale. Alright. Well, you see, I'm in the business of procuring rare and precious objects liberated from the enemies of Rome. Mostly sculptures, vases, the occasional slave, fetch a magnificent price in Roman high society. Had myself a nice little shop in Rome just off the Forum. Lots of foot traffic and close to the docks. Good place to be when the fires broke out. See, about 7 months ago, half of Rome caught on fire. Everyone who couldn't get to an outer gate was running for the river, open to escape by barge. So I gathered my coins and some priceless vases into a cart and had my most loyal slave girl, pretty young thing named Acantha, push it for me. All the way down to the river, I'm elbowing for a stampede of people, turning back now and then to make sure she hasn't legged it with my valuables. But, to my surprise, we make it, and I see this barge loading up, and it's so full it's almost sinking. But the captain's happy to take my coin, so I start boarding, and then he puts his hand on my chest and he says, "No, too heavy. The cart or the girl." So I did what anyone would have done. Of course I chose the cart.
Chose the cart, didn't
I mean,
you?
I can always buy a new slave girl if I still have my money. So I put my hand on the cart, and I guess she realised what was happening because those pretty black eyes of hers go all wide. And in one swift motion, she topples the whole bloody thing into the tire bar.
Ah, fuck you. I think I see where this is going.
I dived in after it, hoping to salvage my fortune. Only, I guess I must have hit my head or something, because everything went black. When I came to, I'd washed up on the riverbank, not far from here, with nothing in the world but a single silver coin.
Commiserations.
But it turns out it might have been a stroke of good fortune, because this place is a veritable treasure trove. Look around you, there must be more gold in here than in the treasury of Rome. If I can just figure out how to get it out of here.
There's a ton of gold. You
I'm
know
afraid
a way out
not.
of here?
If you're desperate, I did hear that Aurelia down at the tavern claims to know of a way out, but I'm not sure I trust her. Some people here are a little shady for my liking.
Like you. Really had noticed. Keep an eye out for them. What do you think of the
Terrible
golden
for
rule?
Inflation is what it is. There's so much gold just lying around, it's practically worthless. At least down here. Of course, I have an idea for generating real wealth, but what I need is a bow. Just a simple composite bow. I've scoured this city from top to bottom with no luck. But if you happen to find one, bring it to me and we'll talk.
Isn't the magistrate banned weapons?
Yes, but that just means you'll need to be a little discreet.
See what I can do.
Thank you, friend.
Who you gonna vote for?
I mean, Sentius couldn't even keep his daughter safe.
Yeah,
What hope does he have of
everyone's
protecting her?
roasting him about that one. I'd like you to vote for Sentius. Need some silicon
Certainly.
resin.
All I ask is a reasonable price of 1,000 denarii.
How would I come up with 1,000 denarii?
But if you get a job, work hard, and save your coins, you should be able to afford it within, say, 5 years?
Price gouging over life-saving medicine? What is wrong with you?
Simply a question of supply and demand, I'm afraid. Take it or leave it. Hear what? You sure you're feeling alright? If you're hearing things, perhaps you should pay a visit to Lucretia's clinic. We don't want another Navia on our hands.
What happened to
She
Navia?
claimed the statues were whispering to her. Nobody else could hear it. Then she shut herself in the palace and we never heard from her again. But I digress. Do you want this Silphium or not?
I just take it
With
instead.
that, you'd break the golden rule and we'd share the same fate as the last lot who lived here. Is that what you want? Do you think I don't know a bluff when I see one?
He's gonna poop his pants when I pick this thing up and start
Very well.
running.
Perhaps I can interest you in something within your budget? Very well. Another time.
Yeah, I think the Whispers want me to break the golden rule, but I think they're also trying to tell me that I can take things with me when I go back in time, potentially. A circular loaf of bread. Seems to be freely available to anyone who wants it. Alright. Well, I'm taking some loaves of bread. Here you go, everyone. Roman recipe for bread making. I'm not going to read the whole recipe for bread making. Out loud, at least. Stone mill. Yeah, I agree with what you said there, Respectable Fool. Planning axe does not seem to do anything. It is instead just stealing them. Also, it seems like there's a day-night cycle. It's gotten darker.
Fortune smile on you, brother.
Oh, hey, Galerius. You and Georgia better not be assholes. Georgius. Hello, Virgil.
Ah, a new face. Salve, and welcome to a little community. My name's impossible to pronounce for most people, so you can just call me Virgil. You arrived on a sad day, friend. What with Julia's death. I wish we could have met under better circumstances.
What's your story, Virgil?
Or at least I was back in Rome. That's probably too grandiose a term to describe what I do here. Help out with repairs and try to stop old buildings from collapsing on people, that kind of thing. But you probably don't want to hear about the ingenious architecture.
The accent sounds
or
pretty French to me.
curious history of this place. Oh, I'm glad you asked. Some of these shrines were constructed hundreds of years ago.
Must make friends with everyone.
Romans have been arriving here for at least that long. But there's one thing that puzzles me. The oldest shrine in this avenue isn't Roman at all. It's Greek.
Isn't it common for Romans to copy Greek art and architecture?
Well, yes, that could be the reason. Or it could mean that there were Greeks living and worshipping here before the Romans arrived. Which begs the interesting question, who really built this place? And could it be far older than any of us imagine? If only there was a way we could talk to the people who came here before us. The stories they could tell.
Tell me about the city's architecture.
Personally, my favorite thing about this place is the aqueducts. Those series of adjoining arches. They're an ingenious feat of Roman engineering with a very practical purpose. They take fresh water coming from outside the city and distribute it all across the chasm. It's funneled below the palace and into a cistern beneath the great temple. Some of it flows down into another cistern beneath the villas, and the rest is funneled to the shrine of Proserpina, where it fills the lake, and allows us to fish and farm.
If they bring water into the city, could we use them to escape?
Hey, not so loud. Just talking about that could anger the gods for all we know. I'm not saying it's impossible, but you'd have to find a way inside somehow. Just, please, try to be a bit more discreet about it.
Okay. Tell me about the temple on the bluff.
Temple? This one's a bit of a mystery. Given the way it's positioned so prominently, looking down on us, it's clear that whoever built it felt it was the most important temple in the city. Unfortunately, someone else went out of their way to keep its purpose a mystery. You see, usually a temple is dedicated to a particular god, like Proserpina or Diana or Apollo. Usually, that god is obvious. But in this case, it's unknown. There's an obelisk out the front, which probably used to bear the name of this unknown god. But it appears some barbarian defaced it. And of course we can't get inside because it's locked up tighter than the Temple of Saturn in Rome. And that contains the treasury. So we're all left wondering, which god is that temple dedicated to? And could it be the one responsible for the Golden Rule? Unless somebody figures out a way inside, I suppose we'll never know.
Let's talk about something else.
You wouldn't believe how often the new ones ask that question. But I'd tell you the same thing I tell everyone else. There are much worse places to live out your days. You might have a few sleepless nights thinking about the Golden Rule, but once you get used to the fear, knowing that a single slip-up could cost you everything, it's not too bad. Nothing new to me, anyway.
What do you mean?
Oh, I just mean I grew up in the Batavi tribe, far to the north in Novio Magus, and learned to expect a bit of hostility. They weren't nearly as tolerant as the Romans.
What do you think of the
Some people
Golden
say
Rule?
it's divine, the work of a god, but I'm not so sure. It just seems so flawed to me. Like it's distinctly human. I mean, once you've been here long enough, you'll notice people doing things that just seem so wrong to you. But this so-called god doesn't seem to care, which means one of two things. Either you don't know the difference between right and wrong, or this unknown god doesn't. And I'm pretty sure I know the difference. Do you?
Yeah, I think so, yes.
Then I hope you'll agree that there are only two ways of dealing with unfair rulers. The first is to leave. The second is to remove the ruler from power. And it seems leaving may not be an option.
How do you remove a god from power?
It's best if I say no more, but I hope you'll give it some thought.
Notice the graffiti. Why does someone think you're a sinner?
I haven't done anything wrong, if that's what you're thinking. Somebody just has a problem with my preference for male company. Hey, nothing gets by you, huh?
Yeah.
Sorry, that was mean. Yes, I like men. And when you grow up in the north, as I did, in the city of Noviomagus, you expect a bit of hostility. The Batavi are not known for their tolerance. I saw enough friends killed or driven away to know the cost of not keeping your personal affairs to yourself. So I hid who I was for, what was it, nearly 10 years? Watching what I said and where I looked. But that kind of fear eats away at you slowly, until living isn't any better than the thing you were afraid of. Needless to say, since I'm now living underground, halfway across the known world, with an assumed name.
Oh, he's Dutch,
openness
okay.
Didn't go down well among the enlightened folk of the
I mean, he
Batavi.
described it, sorry to hear that.
Nice of you to say, but not necessary. In any case, the Romans are far more accepting, and among them, I get to be who I am. Or at least, I thought that was the case. It seems I was wrong.
Do you know who's writing the
It's
graffiti?
Not just graffiti. I have quite the collection of handwritten notes too.
Ah, that's the part I didn't know. The Batavi is a Germanic tribe in the Dutch area.
I've never really been interested in any of the men here. Not my type. So I'm not sure what I could have done to upset this person. If I had to guess, I'd say it's probably one of those cultists.
Cultists?
Strange bunch. They insist there's only one god, and that he considers
Oh
my
boy, it's the
nature
Christians.
sin. Can you believe that? If there are any of them here, they won't admit it. Not since they supposedly burnt down half of Rome last year and went into hiding. All I know is, if these threats keep escalating, eventually my secret admirer is going to cross a line and break the golden rule.
Let me look into it for you.
Really? I didn't expect that. But thanks. It's always a pleasure to meet someone so selfless. I'm glad you arrived when you did. I'd start by figuring out who the cultists are. Or maybe ask around among the merchants here. Someone who lives or works in the forum must have seen something. But if you find them, please don't hurt or humiliate them. I suspect they're just confused.
Damn, Virgil. You are incredibly
Let me know
tolerant.
what you find.
Okay. We have a few people we can ask. What up, Georges?
You look well, my sartorial friend.
What up, bro?
Hello again, my sartorial friend. What
I
is
don't
on
know
your
what
mind?
sartorial means.
This is troubling, is it not? I'm afraid I have no idea. It is ridiculous, though. Virgil is a fine man. But my young friend Fabia confided in me that she saw someone leaving graffiti on his shop front last night.
Okay.
Perhaps you should ask her about it. I hope that our paths cross again soon, my friend.
What a fucking G. Yeah, there sure are a lot of things going on. Fabia. Have we met her? I don't think so.
Ove.
Aqueducts.
Hello? Hello?
What's your
My
story?
name's Dooley. I live here now because I got in trouble and they said they had to lock me up.
What did you
I
do?
don't know. I don't remember things so good. I think it's just because I was looking for treasure.
Did somebody think you were gonna steal?
Yes. But I wasn't. I was just looking.
Is that all?
They said I did it more than once, but I can't remember things so good. Then they called me mean names. They called me a liar, Billy.
A liability?
They said I have to live here now, and gave me this letter. But I'm not good with words. Do you think you could read it for me?
Yeah, I can do that, man. Magistrate Sentius to Dulius. I'm writing to you in relation to your incorrigible antisocial behavior arising from your obsession with an alleged lost treasure. While I'm sympathetic to your... Wait, it says there's a reading mode? Oh, okay. Well, I don't really need that. Well, I'm sympathetic to your plight and the passing of your guardian Hannibal some weeks ago. I wish to impress upon you an important message. The treasure you seek does not exist. Given your memory limitations, it seems likely you simply misremembered. More importantly, since you have on several occasions been caught trespassing, including around the cisterns, which are strictly off limits to all citizens, I've reluctantly come to the conclusion that you are a liability to this community, must have your freedom limited lest you break the golden rule. It is my hope that this letter will assist you to remember why you are incarcerated should you experience further lapses in memory.
What does it say?
It says they caught you trespassing several times, and they locked you up to stop you breaking the golden rule.
My treasure!
What treasure?
My friend Hannibal used to look after me. He said he always would.
Julia, make me sad.
But then, he died. It was very sad. He said, if anything ever happened to him, I had to find something very precious hidden away. He gave me this key and made me promise to keep it safe until I found the treasure.
Julia, I want that key.
But I couldn't find it. All I remember is he said something about the cisterns. But when I went up to the high one, they put me in here. Now nobody looks after me. Except my friend Galerius. And the priestess lady. She's a nice lady.
You give me the key, I can try to find out what it unlocks.
Said I shouldn't give it to anyone I didn't trust. But maybe you could help me get out of here. Then I would trust you a lot.
Let me talk to the magistrate about getting you out of here.
Tried that. He said the magistrate wouldn't listen, no matter what.
Yeah, I'll just
What
break
about
you
the
out.
rules? I don't want everyone to get in trouble because I was bad.
Maybe it's time we had a new magistrate.
Galerius? He's nice. I like Galerius. He made me a doll and everything. If you help make him magistrate, he can get me out of here, and I can give you the key to my treasure. Hannibal said it was in the cisterns. I can't remember what it was, just that it was way up high and very precious.
I'll see what I can do. You
You're
know a way
going to
out of
let me
here?
out of here? Really?
I can try.
Galerius already. Like,
That's the same dialogue tree. What do you think about the golden rule?
You mean treasure?
Talk
My
about your
friend
treasure.
Hannibal used to look. He said he gave.
That is also the same thing. We're going now. Oh.
Hello.
Oh, your memory really isn't good, huh? It's the doll that Galerius made for him. So I guess we can put up Galerius as a just in the back of a cart. Oh. Okay. And I still hear that, like, scraping sound occasionally. I feel like it's these turning their head to look at me. The Myth of the Golden Rule by Durotas the Younger. As per our custom, I shall begin by paying my respects to the god responsible for this city. For our continued prosperity and tranquil seclusion, he deserves our admiration. But here I must depart from custom, for his attempt at imposing strict rule upon us is oppressive and overreaching, deserving of our contempt. Who among us is not awoken at night in a cold sweat, featuring some sort of accidental transgression of the golden rule? All of us All of us must accept that we are all capable of error, whether from a momentary lapse in judgment or a conscious decision based on faulty reasoning. With the great threat, the sword of Damocles that we live under, I believe, merely a deception. I shall prove it to you. Let me begin by dismissing the counter-arguments. First, it may be argued that the inscription stating, "The many shall suffer for the sins of the one," is evidence that the Golden Rule is very real. That is logically unsound, for we cannot assume the writers knew any more than we did. But the message which is inscribed does not make it true, any more than it were if I were to inscribe, "Duratas the Younger is a god." Okay, there's not too much more. Second, it may be argued that the statues in this place are evidence the Golden Rule is real. You need not remind me of that. It was I who discovered them all around this city. It was I who collected them, placed them in a handcart, and placed them in the niches in which they sit today. I will not soon forget them, and yet I refuse to leap to the conclusion that they were once real people. There is simply no evidence to support that conclusion. When we read the story of Venus bringing Pygmalion sculpture Galatea to life, we do not believe it is true. Why should we take a different view here? But ultimately, these arguments are just that. After years of living in fear, there's only one way to prove that the Golden Rule is a falsehood, and that is through action. Friends, I apologize in advance for this, but one day you will see this moment as a turning point as in our city's history. Let us see once and for all if the Golden Rule is real, as I strike one of you with my fist. Buddy. Buddy, my guy. Bet you felt real smart for about 2 seconds there, huh? That's money I can take without thievery. That's what I'm talking about. Just pops back out here. So that dude just like, watch for my next trick as I kill all of us by punching someone. That's a Quitia. It's locked. I am very intrigued to grab. It's Lucretia again. Or Lucia or something. I am very intrigued to just try grabbing this shit and running. Alright. We're gonna give that a try. So I know it's going to start some shit when we steal it. But we're going to try taking it.
The many shall suffer.
That was loud as hell.
For the sins of the one.
Oh boy. Is this the magistrate's house? Yeah. Oh no, I can't not go to the magistrate's house. I need to go to the portal. Leave me be. Run, lady. Actually, it won't matter. Zigzag. Serpentine. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I totally still have it in my inventory. Okay. I'm Dave, and we've had this conversation before.
I don't think so. I've never seen you before in my life.
Your name is Galerius, and you're about to offer to take me to Cynthia so you can teach me about the Golden Rule.
Oh, Bacchus, how much did I drink last night? sorry to have bothered you. Oh, and since you seem to be in a hurry,
No problem.
you should try
I have to
this
go.
device I made. Worked real hard on it.
What's that? Zipline handlebar. A rudimentary wooden zipline handlebar.
Just attach the pulley to the rope over the lake and hang on to the handles. If it works, it'll be faster than walking. And
If it
doesn't
works.
work, worst thing that can happen is you'll take a swim in the lake. I haven't quite summoned the courage to test it myself. But don't worry, it's completely safe. Probably.
Thanks, I'll be going.
See you around.
Can I just talk to him again and be like, hey, do you want to become the magistrate?
Ah, it's you again. Now, what's on your mind?
Ever thought about running for
I
magistrate
bounced
yourself?
the idea around once or twice, mainly as a way of getting Dooley set free. God knows Sentius is never going to do it. But from what I hear, Malleolus has the election stitched up. Nobody's going to take him on and win. And maybe that's not such a bad thing. I mean, he talks a lot about freedom, so I'm hoping if he's elected, he'll release Dooley from his cell. That's good enough for me. Because Sentius put him there. Poor Dooley was just wandering around looking for some imaginary treasure. Now a magistrate accused him of being a thief. That's nonsense, of course. Dooley's the most harmless man you'll ever meet. But Sentius really has it in for him, for some reason. Gladly.
Let's talk about something else.
Alright, see you.
Okay. He said something about zip lines. What is the response? Now, I'm interested if this... well, the guy's not there yet. So it does look like people have a schedule they follow. I'm interested to see if the resin is still there. Yeah.
Salve straight. I don't, I'm afraid. But I did overhear Fabia telling Georgius she saw something. She was headed to the baths not long ago. Very well, another time.
What are you doing in here? Can't you see this woman is dying? She's been poisoned. She needs the resin of a plant called Silphium, but that Culus cumulatus decius won't give it to me.
Does the time make a difference?
What? Quick, give it here. Yulia, you need to swallow this. Here, let me help you. Hopefully, in a moment, she should be able to breathe normally. That was extraordinary. How did you know she needed this exact thing, and at this exact moment? Are you some kind of oracle?
I'm a time traveler.
I'm sorry, I must have misheard you. I think it's your accent, because it sounded like you said, time traveler. But whatever kind of traveler you are, that was like the gods hearing my prayers and intervening. You just saved a person's life, and you should be proud of yourself. She might even be able to thank you herself in a few moments. And maybe
that's
she
cool.
can tell
Is
us
that the
who
time
poisoned
basically
her
matters.
and who she meant when she was muttering about that snake's cruel black eyes. In the meantime, I'm happy to help you with whatever it is you need. Oh no, sorry. I don't mean to worry you, but no, that is definitely not normal.
No, that's not
one other
normal.
person who claimed she could hear the statues talking to her. But that was Nevia, and she went a little mad.
Tell me more about Nevia.
Well, she used to run the clinic
Well, we saw this before.
This changed the last time I saw her, and then she shut herself.
Shut herself
She's
in
been
the
gone
palace.
but I really wish I could reach her. One of my patients is... He's become so irritable. I just know Nate.
I'll get right on it. Yes, we saw that.
Feeling all right?
Talk about
Sure.
Julia.
What do you want to know?
She was poisoned, or was
Do
it
you really want to
self-inflicted?
know? I mean, if somebody poisoned her, then surely they would have broken the golden rule, and so maybe it's best we don't discuss it. Gladly.
Okay, I'll be
That's a
going
shame.
now then.
Thanks again for saving Yulia's life. Apollo smiles upon you.
Damn, you're looking much better. You were dead the first time I saw you.
Oh, it's you. Sorry, I'm still a bit out of it. But thanks for trying to help me.
Try? I did.
Was there something you wanted? Lucretia says I'm supposed to rest.
Can I ask what happened
As
to you?
much as I'm grateful that you tried to help me, it's just not safe for me to talk about it. Please, no more questions. The golden rule. That's the least of my worries.
Malleolus and
The
Claudia.
gods may be cruel, but Malleolus and Claudia are far crueler.
Is that who poisoned you?
Just leave me alone. I don't want to talk about it.
I can't help you unless you tell me what happened.
Persistent as Nemesis, aren't you? I
Everyone's
can
like,
tell
well,
you,
I can
but
tell you my
it's a
story, but it's a
long
long
saga.
one. I have all the time in the world.
I'd been here about a week. When it dawned on me I'd be trapped here for the rest of my life. I could hardly breathe, and I knew I had to get out somehow. So when my new friend Aurelia offered me a secret way out, I would have done anything. And then I learned her asking price. 1,000 denarii. She was supposed to be my friend. I told her it would take me years to save up that much. So she suggested I take out a loan from Malleolus. And I did.
Why would he lend you so much
I
money?
had to sign an agreement, saying I'd work off the debt over 30 years.
A couple people are like, I would need about
I figured I'd be out
$1,000.
of here so soon, it wouldn't matter. I paid Aurelia. And she gave me her so-called way out. Do you want to know what it was? Hemlock.
Kill yourself, yeah. Oh, no.
Drink this, she said, and you'll be out of here in no time. Of course, I demanded my money back, but she refused. She pointed to a sign on her tavern saying, "Let the buyer beware." Then she just looked at me with those cruel black eyes, and she laughed. She immediately told Malleolus I'd tried to escape without paying him back. Only, he didn't seem upset or surprised at all. In fact, he just thanked her. And that's when I realized the two of them had
Oh,
planned
yeah.
the whole thing from the beginning.
Surely that would have
That's what I
broken the
said
golden
to the
rule.
magistrate. I went to Sentius and begged for help, but he said the law was clear. I'd signed over my labor for 30 years and there was nothing he could do. I thought about resisting too. But Malleolus said if I didn't submit, I'd break the golden rule. And I couldn't be responsible for all those deaths, so he locked me in his villa. Confiscated everything I owned as collateral, and made me wear immodest, humiliating outfits while I worked day in, day out.
Yeah, drawing up contracts
Claudia was just as
makes
bad.
it legal because they
She
agree
sent me
to it,
work
maybe?
on an endless stream of futile, demeaning tasks. I'd be on my hands and knees, scrubbing the floor clean for hours, only for her to pour slop on it and hiss, "You missed a spot." Those two took everything from me. But they forgot to confiscate one thing. My hemlock.
So you poisoned
I
yourself.
just wanted it to be over. But it seems I messed that up too.
Well, nope, you were dead when I came in,
drunk
so
all of it.
suicide does not... So sorry to
brought
hear
it on
that.
myself. I trusted one of the most callous human beings I've ever met, and tried to swindle the other. I don't know how I could have been so stupid.
So what'll happen to you
When I've
now?
recovered, I expect their thug Domitius will come for me. He'll escort me back to their villa, and I'll be right back where I started. Only this time, I won't be able to lull myself to sleep at night with the thought of a permanent solution. Honestly, it would have been better if the poison had been allowed to run its course.
Can I do anything to help?
It seems this is the fate the gods have chosen for me, for trying to escape. At least until someone breaks the golden rule. Huh. Maybe it wouldn't be so bad.
Better idea. How much would it cost to buy
A
your
lot.
freedom?
But it doesn't matter. I made a suicide pact with Ulpius last night. He's in exactly the same position as I am. Malleolus and Aurelius set the same trap for him a month after they did it to me. He and I are in this together. He's probably already thrown himself from the bluff into Malleolus's villa by now. If so, I'd never be able to live with myself, knowing I broke my promise to him.
Perhaps I can help
I
him
doubt
too?
you could make it up to the bluff in time. I don't know who you are, or why you seem so determined to help me, but thank you.
Alright, well let's see if we can sprint.
Isn't the great temple
God, I gotta
majestic?
go this way? Is that him on the edge? Oh god, that's him on the edge. Don't do it! I'm coming! Hang tight, my dude.
Salve, Fred.
No, Octavia, I don't give a shit. I'm fine, thanks.
We've all been. I used to lay awake at night contemplating the big questions. I still don't have any of the answers, I'm afraid. I don't think anybody does. But I'm happy to share with you what I've learned.
Actually, I really need to talk to Opius.
Lovely to meet you. I look forward to
Opius,
getting to know you better.
do not step over.
And if you ever...
I can't believe this is how it ends.
Oh no. No. No, 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 no. Ulpius, what are you doing? Get back from there. If you lose your balance, you'll fall.
That's the idea.
What? Why? Why would you want that?
Why do you think I'm stuck for the rest of my life working for a man who treats me like an animal?
I know things are hard for you right now. They're hard for all of us. We're all in this together, Ulpius. Please, please just think this through. If you do this, it could be the sin that seals all of our fates. Is that what you want?
I'm sorry, but I just
Why?
don't care anymore.
This is the first time so far in this game I've been annoyed. Let me just fucking yell that she's not dead.
I don't know what to do. I've never had to deal with this sort of thing. Please, you need to talk to him.
Good luck with that. I'm out of here as an option.
And please, choose your words carefully.
Let me guess. You're going to lecture me on how suicide is a crime against the Empire.
Just gonna ask
Screwed
you
up
what's
my
wrong.
life. That's what's wrong. I borrowed money, and when I couldn't pay it back, I wound up in debt bondage. I'll be stuck slaving away for that Culus Cumulatis Malleolus for the rest of my life. I am out. Wherever you are, Scintilla, my love. I'm sorry.
Ulpius, no! I can't believe he went through with it.
Oh boy.
Oh Lord. That poor lamb.
Suicide didn't break the golden rule. What does that
I suppose
mean?
it means suicide isn't a sin under the golden rule. So I guess that means whichever god is responsible for it. It isn't mine.
Is that
That
my
was
fault?
not your fault. There's no way you could have given him what he wanted, moments after you arrived.
Happens
Perhaps
now.
let everyone know what happened. And I guess Malleolus will have to clean up the mess in his villa. It's of his own making, after all. And I'd best pray for poor Ulpius.
Oh boy. Hey, before you go anywhere, quick chat.
I hope you're coping.
What's your
In
story?
this place, the magistrate has me earning my keep by cleaning and pruning the gardens. It's not quite how I expected my life to go. I used to live in a lovely villa on the banks of the Tiber. I was even betrothed to a handsome young man from a prominent family. But long hours of menial labor for the good of the community has its own charms too, I suppose. Oh, much the same way as many of the others. When the fires came to Rome, 7 months ago, my family and I fled for the Tiber, hoping to escape.
The whisper
from
said
Bluff.
jump.
We were among the fortunate ones. With
I'm
enough
interested if I can go and grab the money from that temple
There were a
again,
lot
like
of
if the money respawns.
and they boarded before we could depart. A scuffle broke out, and I was pushed overboard. The last thing I remember was the water, rising up to hit my cheekbone. I woke up by the river, near that shrine, and stumbled across this place.
Sorry to hear that.
Oh, that's all right. I'm sure
Oh
it's
cool,
all
we
part
have
of
the
God's
third
plan for
piece.
me.
Oh, we have more things for Equitia.
Oh yes, of course. A slip of the tongue,
I found me a Christian.
if you like.
So you're a Christian.
I'm afraid not. Although, I did once hear someone gossiping down at Aurelia's tavern about a possible way out.
Lady, you
I don't
knew
put a lot of
Ulpius,
stock in such rumors, but
and
if you're
you,
desperate and wealthy, you could look into it, I suppose.
suppose
If
that's
that
just a
doesn't
way
work,
for me to
then
buy
I
hemlock.
suppose we're all stuck here until the gods decide our fate.
Thanks, but it's
Oh.
definitely a scam.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. I'm sorry I even suggested it. I won't make that mistake again.
Like, do you not know the guy who just jumped off the cliff?
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one. I think about those words.
Maybe
I'd like to think that
need to find
we'll
out
have our
from
neighbours as
Fabia,
ourselves,
who's
and do to
doing
them as we
graffiti
have
on
them do to
Virgil.
us, then we'll all be fine. But on the other hand, I was always taught the intent of man's heart is evil from his youth.
Super
That
Christian,
all of us
original
are born
sin.
with a tendency towards sin, and that's where I get stuck. Is it true? Are we born with a tendency towards sin?
I don't think so.
You don't think that's a little naive? I suppose you've never seen what I've seen. Innocent men and women, torn apart in arenas while thousands of Romans look on and cheer.
Stand by what I said.
I wish I shared your faith.
So you're a Christian.
Please keep that to yourself. I know you're not from around
Lady,
here.
you hide it very poorly.
Things are very difficult for us right now. There was a terrible fire in Rome last year, and our emperor decided to make us his scapegoats. There were executions. It was horrible.
Secret save with me until I go lie and tell everybody. I'll be going
so
now.
Soon? Well, be gentle on yourself. We're all
Last
dealing
night I
with
was
tragic
praying to
loss
Jesus
today.
Christ. I mean Jupiter of the pantheon of gods. Oh, there's a pool. I can get into the villa. Okay. Okay. That's the locked Great Temple. I have the feeling... Or just looks... Oh, that's Octavia. Or just sees this random stranger just hopping on zip lines. More money. So I feel like we definitely have... Yeah, I kept the money. So I'm wondering if... I'm locking myself in. Don't try to follow me. Nothing good will come from it. Navia. It's the sound of someone getting slapped around. Some arrows. But clearly we can get up in there. Yeah, I'm checking the money to see if it respawns. Here's Rufius again. Talked to you already though. It was back in the forum. It was went through the alley. Yeah. This creepy fuck absolutely turned his head to look at me. Fabulous. So it definitely does respawn. So I feel like gathering money where we can and know where we can get it without stealing is gonna be highly useful for us.
Help! You have to do something.
Oh, you're the one who saw...
In the baths. Real nasty sort, with his face all covered up. And he's got a weapon. You have to do something, or he's gonna break the golden rule.
Any idea who's threatening Virgil?
It's an emergency. Are you going to help or not?
Get right on it.
He's still in there, somewhere. I have to hide. Find me in this empty shrine when it's over. What? We don't have time for this. I have to go. Ugh. The shrine is collapsing.
I really was not expecting that shit right there. Oh my god. Georges, what the fuck? Where's Shrine may collapse at any moment.
The whole shrine just collapsed on her. Oh, Fabia, why did you have to go in there?
I will honor you with that loaf of bread.
I can't believe she is dead. Fabia, I mean. She walked into that empty shrine.
Oh my god. That was pretty fucking funny.
The gods are cruel and unjust.
I mean, it's terrible. Georges is obviously very sad, but like, I really was not expecting it's collapsing 3 seconds after she walked in. Georges, my dude.
I can't believe the god.
Well, I suppose we'll see what's going on with the baths first before we go leap of faith.
Stop right there. I'm looking for Tiberius Quinctius Crispus, otherwise known as Quinctius. Do you know where he is?
I don't know
I'm
Quinctius.
not sure I believe that, so allow me to explain something to you. I am here with orders from Emperor Nero himself to find and execute the cultist Quinctius for terrible crimes against the Empire. So, if you tell me the truth, I will allow you to live. But if you lie to me or otherwise obstruct the Emperor's business in any way, I will put this arrow through your chest. Is that understood? You are not off to a good start.
You're being unreasonable.
I would choose my next words more carefully if I were you. Is that understood?
I kind of want to make him shoot me. It would trigger everything, but maybe I could take his bow. If I got it.
Now tell me, who are you people, and what is this place?
Why don't you put that bow down? You can come in and see for yourself.
You want me to let my guard down, is that it? You're not going to get your claws into me. I was told Quinctius was a cultist, but I never thought he'd be foolish enough to lead me right to the heart of his mystery cult.
What's a mystery cult?
I don't care if you're worshipping Bacchus, Magna Mater, or Christ. You lot are all the same to me. Always sneaking off to your secret sanctuaries, indoctrinating each other with your little mantras. The Emperor may have tolerated your activities up until now, but after what Quinctius did, those days are numbered. You say that, but if you're not a cult, then why go to such great lengths to keep this place a secret? So you admit you're not allowed to leave.
You physically can't leave. There's no way out.
But in any case, that sounds an awful lot like a cult to me. And I saw the inscription saying, "The many shall suffer for the sins of the one." I take it this is some kind of mantra you all believe?
It's not a mantra, it's a warning.
A distinction without a difference. You've clearly been indoctrinated into this nonsense. Now tell me, where did you lot get enough gold to make all these statues?
There are once people who returned to gold as punishment.
Practicing human sacrifice too. You people disgust me.
You're distorting what I said.
Because I'm the real villain here. It's all clear to me now. The secret sanctuary, the indoctrination, the mantra, the human sacrifice. You're cultists. There's no doubt in my mind. What baffles me is how a person can believe in something with such zeal. They just can't see what they've become. However, you still have a chance to redeem yourself.
I want to see if I can get him to shoot me.
Where Quinctius is. Do not waste it.
Wouldn't help you even if I didn't know who it was.
Then you're of no use to me. Do you have any last words?
For the last time you're not cultist, Satan wouldn't have killed me if I told you the truth. Jesus Christ, you're an idiot. If you fire that arrow, everyone here is going to die.
I'd say that's rather convenient, since I was planning to kill you all anyway.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Nope, I can't take his bow. Oh boy. Statues be lighting me up. This does not look like the way I took last time. Ugh. Sweet, sweet ziplines. Hi, Santius. Okay. Salve, friend.
Salve, friend. Mind telling me who you are and why you look like you've just taken on a gladiator and lost?
Dave, and I have I need you to take care of some things urgently.
Sounds serious. I'm listening.
Julia's dying, but Lucretia can't help her without this Sylphium. Take some of it and go quickly.
Oh no. All right, I can do that.
That's it. Now go as fast as you can.
But once I'm done, I'll need you to tell me how you know all of this.
That's nifty. I can just be like, listen, go do this, 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 and this for me. Going this way. These the aqueducts? Yeah. So we still need to go to the top. Yeah, we still have the damage, which is a nice touch that he saw that. This is such a roundabout way to go where I'm trying to go.
Are they?
Fear is proof of a degenerate mind.
Wait, no shit. I don't want to go here. I want to go to the thingy on the summit first. God.
Fresh meat, huh?
I could try being less of a dick to the gladiator so I can confirm him at least. There was money over here. I think you can just see him standing up there. How much money do I have? 827, which I doubt is enough to buy his freedom. But we'd have to check. And also, I probably would want to buy hers too. Okay.
Salve, friend. I'm Octavia. Welcome to life under the Golden Rule. It's a ghastly thing, is it not? How are you faring so far?
Actually, I need to talk to
It
Ulpius.
was lovely to meet you. I look forward to getting to know you better over the coming months. And if you ever...
I can't believe this is how it ends.
Oh no. No. No, 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 no. Ulpius, what are you doing? Get back from there.
That's the idea.
What?
Why do you think I'm stuck?
I know things
So
are
far, all the same.
I'm sorry, but I...
Please, help him.
Alright, I'll talk to him.
Thank you.
Is this what Centilla would want?
You know about that? How is that possible? I mean, I've never mentioned it to anyone.
Never believe me if I told you.
If you say so. You don't understand. I don't want to hurt anyone. I just want it all to be over.
Maybe I can help solve your problem.
Late for that.
Finally, I get to tell her that I saved her.
And she's already swallowed hemlock this morning. If I backed out now, I'd be betraying her. I can't do that.
Lucretia was able to get some silphium in her time and save her life. She's going to be fine.
Really? That changes things a little. But we're still in debt bondage to that monster. Unless you happen to have 2,000 denarii to pay off both of our debts.
Oh, but I could probably raise the money
No.
if you give me some time.
No. Time's up. I am out.
I'm out.
Wherever you are. Centilla, my love. I'm sorry.
Ulpius, no!
Okay, so not worth messing with this. Quietly in the back. What happens now? Jump. So I need 2,000 bucks. We also... wonder what happens if we tell Sentius about the assassin. Let's try this.
Thank you. Thank you. I am delighted and deeply honored to have been elected your magistrate. Magistrate. Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you. I'm delighted and deeply honored to have been elected your magistrate. And now, I make this solemn.
Is there anything useful as incriminating evidence? Ulpius, to his lost love, may God watch over you. Please know that I held on as long as I could. Without you, my life is meaningless. Only I hope we can meet again in Ganeden. We go to your captors, Melodius and Claudia. Curse you to the death. By the time you read this, I'll already be dead. His death is preferable to another day in debt bondage to you. May vultures peck out your livers in Tartarus for all eternity. That seems normal. Where did... is this that dude's body? Like, where did Ulpius just land? Ah, so the door is locked, so we can't get in here unless we leap of faith it. Don't think we have an option other than going Out past him. Oh. Psych. I'm rummaging your second floor, homie.
And now, I make this solemn promise to you, good citizens. And now, I make this solemn promise to you, good citizens, under my leadership.
Door's locked. Clearly there's someone having a bad day in there. Alright, suppose it seems like we gotta talk to him now.
A day of celebration, I hereby announce a day of celebration to mark.
This guy sounds like such a ponce.
Yes.
Ooh.
Did you just leap into my villa from
Perhaps.
100 feet above? That was either extremely reckless or impressively clever. Well, why have you risked life and limb to see me?
What's your story? What's up, man?
And if it
You
wasn't
know,
for this interruption, I'd be
just like
practicing my victory
getting to know the neighborhood, jumping off cliffs.
I'm glad you asked. I'll finally restore freedom to this city, just as I've been promising. These good people have suffered long enough under Sentius's tyranny.
How will you do that?
By declaring there's no such thing as the Golden Rule. It's a children's fable exploited by Sentius to frighten us into submission. Wait, don't tell me you've fallen victim to that monstrous lie?
We know that it is very much. Golden Rule's definitely real.
Nonsense. There's no way you can prove that. If it was real and you'd seen someone break it, then you'd be dead already.
What would it take to prove to you it's real? Books,
Surely
notes?
You're not one of those people who believes everything you read. As if a lie could be transformed into the truth by the simple act of writing it down.
Found a book called The Myth of the Golden Rule. Whoever wrote it obviously died because they refused to accept the Golden
next to
Rule.
a golden statue in the theater? Tell me, how do you know that statue wasn't put there by Sentius?
Well, this guy's a wiener. I was ready to be like, Sentius, you suck, but I'm reliving the same day over and over again. The Golden Rule is broken each time.
Oh, I see what's happening here. Another poor, vulnerable soul.
Yeah,
taken
I
in
think
by
there's no way
Sentius's
we're going to be able to.
He won't get away with this much longer.
If I can't prove it, if I'm right, then accepting it will avert disaster. If I'm wrong, then accepting it will make the city a better place. Isn't that a good
I
thing?
disagree. I'll be guided by what is best for the city's people, and that means giving them the freedom to do as they wish.
And say
True,
nothing,
but that is
I will
simply
say, is
because
going
you
to
are
convince you.
I'm afraid not. We're stuck down here together, for better or worse. We're all going to have to make the best of it.
What do you think about the
You
Golden
mean that
Rule?
the children's fable
I kind of know what he's going to
exploited
say.
by Sentius to scare us all into doing what he wants. I trust you can see yourself out. Through the door this time. There's a key just beside it.
Sweet. That means I can steal the key. I wonder if that means I can unlock upstairs. Nothing down here.
Still here.
Yep. Got permission to wander in your house. How did I not see that before? But first... Yeah, the key seems like the easy way to get here in the future. Part of this game seems like, in order to, you know, get the ending or something, you have to do kind of a series of events. How are you?
I'm not supposed to be in here.
I know, where do you keep your valuables? Can we talk?
What business could you possibly have with me?
Are you locked in this room?
My affairs are no concern of yours. Thank you very much. I think a better question is, why am I being interrogated by a stranger who just barged into my villa? I have quite enough marriage trouble already, without having to explain to my husband why I am receiving strange men in private. I think it's about to be broken if you don't hurry up and leave. Preferably the way you came in, by which I mean, please leave.
Okay.
Finally! This is outrageous.
First, is there anything I can just look at? Oh, he rich. That... If I wanted to pull the trigger, that'd be the easiest way to not have to grind a bunch of things. Let's just steal those. I have the key so I can get back here easily. I'm gonna do it. Oh, not this way. There. So that's gonna let me pay off the debts. Using his own money, which I appreciate the turnabout on. You thought your day was bad now, Claudia. You go ahead and see how your day turns.
Many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
They yell, oh my god, Malleolus, you were wrong. I wonder if it's Navia. We also still haven't checked out this bar. The 2,500 plus the 800 I have would be 33. I don't really suspect Sentius as much, because he does indeed just dust himself. Okay, so step one.
Salve, friend. I'm Galerius. Mind do I
need you to take care of some things urgently.
Yulia.
That's it. Go. Yeah, I do not know if it's going to be enough. Also, I wonder if I can catch Flava right before she goes to the bath. Nope, she's already cowering. I'm gonna try this, and then afterwards I'm gonna try. I gotta tell. Yeah, it was an ancient Roman zipline. It's a really, really important Roman technology. Because then after, I'm gonna try. I want to tell Sentius about the assassin, because I mean he believes that I'm repeating the same day, so he'd actually listen. I think that's way too easy to be the answer. Like, oh, the person who broke the golden rule is someone who wasn't here. Now the Whispers want me to go talk to the priestess now that I have some common threads.
Salve, welcome.
Yep.
That's if you're not well.
Yep.
All
I gotta
right,
talk to
well,
Ulpius.
It was lovely to meet you. I look forward to getting to know you better over the coming months. And if you ever...
I can't believe this is how it
Groundhog Day.
Oh no. No. Ulpius, what are you doing? Get back
It
from
sounds like it's been Salve,
You'll fall.
That's the idea.
but I'm not sure.
What? Why? Why would you want that?
Why do you think?
I know.
We saw all this.
Please help him.
Alright, I'll talk to him. This is what Scintilla would want. Never believe me if I told you. Maybe I can help.
Oh,
She got some Cynthia. Actually, I do.
Wait. So, I guess you'd want me to work for you then.
Now you'd be free.
do that for us? A couple of complete strangers.
Of course.
It seems today we are both blessed. This did not turn out how I thought. Thank you, friend. I never thought people like you existed. Thank you. I'll go and pay off our debts immediately. I just wish there was some way I could repay you. But I have nothing but the tunic on my back.
Don't worry about it.
I'll go and take care of things with Malleolus and tell Yulia the good news. Thanks again, friend. I'll never forget what you did for us.
Okay, yeah, so we'll definitely have to do with that. That's the top of the aqueduct. I feel like it actually is the quickest way. Oh! Jesus, I almost just murdered myself because there's no... Oh, maybe he punches through the ground and creates the hole. So you have to have him fall at least once.
I hope you're taking care of yourself.
Sucks for you that I didn't pay off your debts too, huh?
What
Or are you not a debt slave?
Ah.
Okay. So I want to go back and talk to the lady in the shrine. Rufius shows up there afterwards. This is like Hitman, the like exploration game. It's all of the pattern finding of a Hitman game, but just like thou shalt not kill in this one particularly.
On your best behavior, I trust?
That's him going to pay it off. I want to watch this.
In fact, you take it to him. I don't ever want to see his face again.
Huh. You actually did it. I'll make sure he gets this. But you're still a pathetic little Sturkers, free or not.
I don't care what you think. You don't have any power anymore.
Alright, that's fair. You probably want to go tell that lady. Never got this guy's story, actually.
What is it, citizen? I'm a legionary of the 1st Italica, but there's not a lot of fighting down here. So the magistrate has assigned me other duties. I act as the magistrate's right-hand man, keeping an eye on his daughters. Daughter, I should say. And the others. And making sure they're all behaving. I also keep a register of new arrivals. I'm from Liguria, up north originally. I was doing alright for myself. 12 years into my service. Had a nice girl lined up for when it was all over. Not anymore. She's probably figured I'm long gone and moved on by now.
And Sturkis is Latin for shit.
My commander sent me to deliver a message to Rome. While I was there, I thought I'd do something nice for my girl. And pick up a little pendant from a silversmith. That's when the crowd started flooding through the streets, shouting fire. People were screaming, trampling each other. Then some Genetricum fugitor tried to take advantage of the chaos and pinch my pendant. I remember chasing him through the crowds, down towards the river. And then, nothing. Blacked out.
Yeah, any Latin scholars you want to try and translate as we go, by all means.
But I'm fortunate to be alive, I suppose.
Sorry to hear that.
As Seneca the Younger said, difficulty strengthens the mind, as labor does the body. That said, Centilla's disappearance has been more difficult than I'd care to admit. He's one
Tell
of
me
the
about the
commanders I've
magistrate.
ever had, that's for sure. Good stoic. Lives by Seneca's words. Treat your inferior as you would wish your superior to treat you. Can't ask for much more than that.
Can I see the citizen register?
Just make sure I get it back by tomorrow.
Sure. Ah, cool. There's Georgia. Haven't met this guy. Haven't met this guy. Oh, that guy disappeared. Died in cistern, question mark. Olivia now refuses to work. Duty, money lending. Locked herself in the palace. Increasingly agitated. Restricted to her villa for safety. Sister is missing. Who was the... She was a pupil. Yeah. Sentius. Opus. Okay. I feel like that's going to be useful. Sure, I'll give it back to you tomorrow.
Of course.
Who are you going to vote for?
Any of your business.
Yeah, I figured.
See, Domitius has been going around town, shoring up votes for Malleolus with lies, bribery, and intimidation.
So those don't count.
The man's a savage, but he's a gladiator, so people fear and respect him more than they should. Sentius knows about it, of course, but he doesn't have the same rat cunning as Malleolus. This place will be different with that sleaze at the helm. But I try not to worry about things I can't change.
I help.
I appreciate the thought, but you're new here, and I just can't see how you could make an impact in the time between now and the election this afternoon. In any case, if you're interested in the election, go and have a chat with Aquatia, the Vestal Priestess. She'll be overseeing proceedings. I went around asking the same questions when I... to bear trials...
No more Seneca the Younger.
Well, as I always say, it's by threatening to execute. If you knew you could be executed because your only chance of saving yourself...
Yeah, this is much like what he said during the kind of opening walk-in.
Makes us all responsible for keeping each other in check. It's brutal, of course, but effective. The Legion wouldn't be the most formidable force in the world without it.
Where I'm from, that would be considered collective punishment, which is a war crime.
Isn't that a contradiction in terms? As Cicero said...
You got a bit of a point there, especially during Roman times. Our worlds are very different.
That way. War crimes. Ridiculous. What's done is done. I was forced to execute my brothers in arms, and those memories will always visit me in my sleep. But life is harsh, and I've come to accept my lot. As with the Golden Rule, I don't have any control over it, so railing against it would be like trying to stop the seasons or the tides. As Seneca the Younger wrote,
God, this guy really loves Seneca the Younger.
Enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. Not to amuse ourselves with either hopes or fears, but to rest satisfied with what we have, which is sufficient. For he that is so wants nothing. If you like. Alright?
Bye. Alright, we want to tell Sentius about the assassin. We want to try talking to the daughter again. Wonder how much this conversation we have to redo.
I assume...
I'm Dave, and we've had this conversation before.
Wait, if I understand correctly, someone...
This guy really does pick up things about time travel real quick.
...forcing me to create a portal in time to bring you here? I must have entrusted you with figuring out who the culprit is. Only, I assume we failed, and you had to start over. Is that about right? Ah, I see. Look, it's unfortunate.
I won't tell him that I broke it.
What matters now is that you make use of what you've learned and gathered.
Jimmy whispers.
Better next time. Now, I assume you sought me out again for a reason. You mean Duilius? Releasing him is out of the question, I'm afraid. That man is a liability we simply cannot afford. Perhaps you're not aware he was caught multiple times, sneaking around in places he should not have been. Look, I can see where you're going with this. You think me cruel. I assure you that is not the case. You may not be aware of this, but it was not so long ago, during the Republic. The law of the 12 Tables would have required that he be killed as soon as he was born, owing to his deformities. Here we see to it that he has food, water, and shelter, and most importantly, he is able to continue living. A privilege that would be taken away from all of us Were he to be released and commit the crime of trespass, the man has no.
Can I tell him, like,
poor comprehension of what is going on around,
trespass isn't a crime that causes the, like, breaks the golden rule?
So that one man can go free. Now, was there something else? Thank you.
I may have to go trigger the assassin by talking to the lady.
Out of the baths, I take. Ugh, I wish Horatius would stop letting Bob. I'm sent. What are you? Really? Now remind. Ugh. Well.
I hope.
So you're. Oh, thank you. You should probably take a look through her room. Thank you.
Okay. So, poke in her room. I don't know if she... No, I'm not stealing her $14. Oh. Centilla, to Sentius and Sentia, may Clementia give you the strength to forgive me. I'm sorry to leave you this way, but I have found a way to escape and I must take it. I hope we meet again someday.
Ugh, this place has become a... What have you...
On a letter in her room, she mentioned her plan to escape.
What? Really? I swear, I searched her room top to bottom and never saw that. I wonder how I could have missed it. Strange, but... Well done, I suppose. But it's odd. It was only a few months ago that Centilla's friend Yulia let slip she was planning an escape of her own. And yet, Yulia's still here. You should go and speak with her. Find out if she knows anything. She lives in the villa next door.
Okay. So while I have Yulia saved, and while I have... I feel like Ulpis will also... Okay, Ulpis is over there.
Ave.
Ave, I want to talk to you in a minute. Still am yet to make my way down to the bar, because I've been doing all these time-sensitive things. Ulpis.
Shalom.
Shalom.
You mean where am I from and all that? Judea, originally. But when I was a child, I moved to Rome with my family, Romanized my name, and spent most of my life in the Jewish district of Trans-Tiberim, across the Tiber from the main city. That's where I was when the fires broke out. Everyone was running toward the river, and I, listening to my inner contrarian, ran the other way. Every road leading out of Rome was in chaos, full of people with all their belongings in carts, and brigands preying on them. Several hours down the Appian Way, I saw another Jewish family being attacked by 3 opportunists. So I picked up a branch from the side of the road and went to defend them. I can only assume they got the better of me, because the next thing I knew, I was waking up in a forest.
This guy
river, not far from
didn't go in the water.
With no memory of how I got there. It's strange though, because I still had my purse on me. Why would a robber knock me unconscious and throw me in a river, but not take my coins?
So they're just saying they're in Rome before they woke up in the forest. Were you several hours away?
I always just assumed the river carried me, but I'm not sure I was anywhere near the Tiber when I fell. I'm sure it'll all make sense if we ever get out of here. I don't. But, well, neither of us have a couple of hours to stand around talking about theology law. You remind me of an old story from my people about Hillel the Elder. He was approached by a Gentile and asked to explain the entire Torah while he stood on 1 foot. Obliging, he replied, "What is hateful to you, do not do to another. That is the whole Torah. The rest is commentary. Go and learn." Of course, what I want to know is, what kind of a god sees a young woman abducted and does nothing about it? Not my god. That's for sure. Thanks.
Good question.
I just wish there was a way to find out. Sentius, I suppose. I'd have to be insane to vote for Malleolus after what he did to me.
Fair enough.
Scintilla and I were in love. And then, 22 days ago, she went missing. All right. One night a few months ago, when I was cleaning Malleolus's villa, I heard a young woman singing. It was the most beautiful thing I had ever heard. I wasn't allowed out, so once everyone else was asleep, I climbed up the inside of the villa and onto the roof, just to see where that sound was coming from. And that's when I saw her. Standing in the garden of the magistrate's villa, I just sat there on the roof, listening to her with my chin on my knees. And for the first time in a long time, I felt hopeful. And then she looked up and saw me and she smiled. I knew at that moment the fates had brought me to her. And from the moment she asked my name with this warmth and curiosity, I knew I'd have done anything for her. And so for weeks on end, each night I'd climb out of the villa and into her father's garden. We'd hold hands and talk about all the things we'd do once we got out of here. Like having our own vineyard. And then one morning I woke up and everyone was out searching for her. They said she'd vanished in the night. All I could do was keep my head down and try to hide how beside myself I was.
Possible
All
she
I know
escaped?
is she loved me. And if she had known a way out, she would have told me. She'd never have taken her
It's
own life.
suspicious because
There's no way anybody could have killed her under the golden rule.
the sisters
I can't
said that
prove
she
it, but I
searched the
just know
room.
She's still alive somehow.
So was
Even
there
now,
like,
it's as
was
if
that
I can
note
hear
planted?
her voice in my head, crying out to me. That can only mean one thing. Somebody abducted her. I have no idea how or who would want to do something like that to such a sweet, lovely girl. But what else could have happened? My guess?
You can go real
Malleolus had
accusatory with
something
it.
to do with it. He is without doubt the most evil man I have ever known. I have no idea where he'd be keeping her, but there is one room in his villa, upstairs, which is always locked. I've never seen the inside of it, and I haven't been able to steal a key without breaking the golden rule. But I have a feeling that if you could get in there somehow, it would shed light on a great many things.
I tried that. There's no
Really?
sign of Scintilla.
I was sure he was hiding something in there. I feel like I've looked everywhere. At least everywhere I could get to. There are still two places I've never been able to reach. First, the palace. If Navia managed to get in, then I suppose Scintilla could have too. The only other place she could be is somewhere in the cistern network. I remember hearing that Dooley had been poking around in the upper cistern before he was locked up. So you could ask him about it, I suppose. All right, friend. Thanks for the chat. Shall I?
You have any more
I feel like I've
ideas?
looked everywhere. First, the only I remember.
Okay, yeah, cistern and stuff. See what I can do.
All right, friend.
Alright, I need to talk to Yulia. I need to basically get everything I can out of these two. In case I have to go through the whole process of, like, getting the money again and freeing them, and it takes a few resets to do it. Yulia was here. Ah, cleaning. Wait, Balls, where is she?
Feeling all... Sure. How did you know that? Yes, she did mutter something about the only way out. A few times, but nothing more than that, I'm afraid. Glad. That's a...
Ugh, do I have a quest that wants me to ask her? So loud. Ka-tunk, ka-tunk, ka-tunk. There she is. Right, she is Aquithia. You need to talk to Aquithia as well.
I hope you're coping. Sorry, was there something you wanted? No. I did hear from Ulpius that she disappeared. It's very sad. She was such a lovely young woman. But I'd been locked in Malleolus's villa for months before she went missing, so I can't help you, I'm afraid.
Fair enough.
All right.
Wait, also, yeah, do you know that your debt's been paid?
You mean my life? Our father found good husbands for my sisters, but I wasn't cut out for that kind of life. So he found me a job as a scribe for a prominent merchant. It was a good life for a while, until 7 months ago when the fires came. My colleagues and I worked desperately to try to protect our warehouse. We must have had 100 workers passing buckets of water, chanting prayers to Vulcan, but they fell on deaf ears. The fire was relentless and it claimed everything and everyone. Well, almost everyone. My employer told me to grab what valuables I could and flee for the Tiber with the crowds. I remember diving into the river and then the next
So she's got kind of the standard story.
Waking up on the riverbank not far from here. Thank you. All right.
Okay, let's trigger the assassin thing. Let's see if I can keep this lady from going and getting sandwiched by the shrine. Damn it. Okay, so I can't run up there. Yeah.
None of us do. You'll just have to.
I'll get right on it.
Thank you. I have.
Do not go in there.
Why?
Just trust me.
All right, fine.
Okay,
Come
good.
and find me my bakery instead. Please be careful.
Oh, I have an idea. I wonder if somehow I can convince the guy to follow me and have him walk into the shrine. I'm gonna try to be very nice. So I'm worshipping a small round shrine just inside the city. Second building on your left.
For your service to the Empire, I'll let you live. But you'd best make sure our paths don't cross again.
I'm just gonna watch you, bud. As soon as I was like, wait, I have to improvise. Can I just like get him to take a fucking stroll? I'll be over here. Also, maybe I can get his bow. I'm on a frontline view right here. You'd think he'd look in and be like, there's no one in here. Thank you. Finally crafted composite bow. That's mine now. Nero has ordered the execution of a cultist named Quincius with different colored eyes. Oh. Oh shit, wait. I want to read that again. By order of Emperor Nero, all loyal sons of Rome were ordered to hunt, yeah, hunt and execute the arsonist and murderer Tiberius Quintius Crispus, a citizen from the Aventine district of Rome. He is about 40 to 50 years old. He is average height, average build, has dark hair, and has one green eye and blue eye. Typically clean shaven. He's a known associate of cultists and suffers from delusions of grandeur. And I got a bow. Excellent. I like it. Now I can actually enter the baths. Oh, this is where I came from the first time around. Like, this is where I dropped into. Oh, I feel like that's how it is for everyone. That's why they're like, another one just come from the baths. So that's the channel there. Guy, you didn't think this is a grand idea when you were dropping in? That sliding gold sound, I believe, is the statues turning their heads to stare at me. Yeah, I can almost guarantee that's how the assassin got there. I need to go meet with that lady in her bakery. Can I tell you about the assassin?
All right.
Isn't the great temple majestic?
Citizen. Ask them. Good.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna stop really trying to go have Sentius help with things. He doesn't seem to care. Hey, you.
You... an accident? So... it's over? Oh, God. It's such a relief. I really thought we were all going to die. I do have a question, though. That shrine, the one I was going to hide in...
There's a note on the door.
No, it was going to collapse. I don't understand. Oh, I see. I should probably keep my big mouth shut then. Sorry. I promise, nobody else will ever know what you did. But I know. That was really clever. Thank you. I'm glad you're here. Oh, speaking of which, welcome. I'm Fabia. Sorry I was a bit frantic before. Need anything?
What's your story, Fabia?
I mostly just bake bread and try to help out where I can.
You know, that ain't bad.
I suppose it all started about 8 months ago. I was living in Rome with my family when I got sick. Terrible timing. My pa had just arranged a husband for me. A fisherman's son. I was about to meet him for the first time when I came down with an awful fever. I spent the next week in bed. Pa paid priests to make offerings to Asclepius, a white rooster, then a goat. But nothing worked.
What up, Georgius?
In the end, they decided I'd do better.
Wait, that's not Georgius. It's Quidia.
Clean air in the countryside would do me good, they said.
Okay, just having a conversation here, Horatius.
I was getting worse, not better. I remember closing my eyes for a bit, and I guess I must have fell asleep because when
She was not even anywhere close.
I was in a forest by a river. I suppose the driver took off with his fee and left me for dead. Can't say I blame him. I wouldn't have wanted to catch what I had either. Anyway, I went searching for help.
Man, did everyone die? I really hope it's not a purgatory thing.
Here I am.
Saying you were days right away?
Yeah. I suppose you're right. Hadn't really thought about it. But the gods are mysterious and powerful. Who knows what their plans are for us? Terrible shame, that is. Maybe this'll help. Late last night, I was cleaning my oven when I heard some noises outside. The forum's usually dead quiet at that hour, so I came out to see what was going on. To be honest, I thought maybe poor old Dooley had got out of his cell and was snooping around again. So I put my head out and saw someone in front of Virgil's shop.
Oh, cool.
I couldn't tell who. It was too dark. I called out to them, but they just turned and ran off without a word.
That's helpful.
All I remember is they ran past a lit torch, and the light glinted off something metallic. Armor, I think. So I suppose it could only be one of three people. Horatius, Domitius, or Rufius. I hope that helps.
It does. Thanks, that does help.
What?
Anyway, out of here.
Galerius. My friend Georgius is always mending our clothes, and Virgil makes sure these old walls don't fall down around us. Well, he does his best. I'm just saying, there are worse places you could live out your days.
I don't belong
Well,
here.
I can tell from your funny accent you're not from around here, but
This place is full of dead people. This is the coolest episode of Lost I've ever seen.
I try not to worry.
I like your optimism.
Thanks. And I like your teeth. They're so white. And your clothes. Oh, I bet my friend Georgius would like to get a look at you. And I'm sure he'd love to chatter about the Golden Rule with you too. He'll be just across the forum in his shop. All right.
Okay. So, there's this dickbat. Yeah. I don't even know his name officially.
Mariolus isn't receiving visitors at the moment, it being election day. Her name's Domitius. You want to get to Mariolus, you go through me. Why? Because I am a gladiator. That's why.
Yeah, push-ups to be jacked. But you're nowhere near an arena.
See me fight?
Hey, JT.
Keep running your mouth, fatuous cunnis.
I don't know Latin, but that one's not good, probably.
She's not here.
Where is she?
Had to carry her to Lucretia's clinic this morning. Shrine of Apollo. She was acting sick. Faking it, if you ask me. Typical. When Malleolus wins the election, yeah? This place will change. You won't even want to leave. You'll see. I think it's gone on long enough, and Malleolus is going to put an end to it once he's elected.
Can I help?
Already lined up the votes he needs to win. Just stay out of our way, and we won't have a problem. Malleolus, of course. If I...
I saw that.
Do I seem like anonymous threats of my style?
Fair enough, actually.
Whatever.
That's... Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. Also, it makes sense that... I still don't know if time is actually passing or if people just kind of wander. Was this one, yeah. Horatius, alright, Rufius. We haven't met in this run. You the one threatening Virgil?
What you're talking about? No idea. Yeah? Whatever.
That feels a lot like it was you, homie. I feel like I doubt it's Horatius, but it could be. Or it's just Sentius. Everyone's just fucking with me.
Fear is proof. What? Absolutely not. I know someone's been threatening him, and I'm not happy about it. But I can assure you, it isn't me. What business? A lot of people have been looking for her. But it's been 3 weeks, and we've found nothing. What makes you think you can do better? I suppose that's true. Scintilla was always a kind, well-behaved young woman. I admit.
I can just try accusing the shit out of him.
If anyone knows something, I'd expect it to be Sentia, Malleolus, Claudia, or Domitius. But none of them will tell me anything. You might fare better, though, I suppose. Fine. All right.
Okay. So from the slums. I feel like it's Rufius. Because I do kind of believe the guy who's like, does it really look like I'd make anonymous threats? Who else do we need to mess with? It's Upper Cisterns. Find Navia. Search the palace, search, ask people. Yeah, we need to talk to Aqueducts. Because we have more evidence for her now. And then also, we really should just go and be like, hey, yeah, I know you're this guy.
A new face. Ave, and may Vesta watch over you. I'm Aqueducts. To what do I owe the pleasure of this visit? Interesting. I'm not sure what... Yes, I suppose that could be something. But then most of us do tend to carry coins on our person, don't we? What else? That's true. I know I wasn't entirely sure how I wound up here. What else? Yes, I understand many of our friends were carried here by a river current. It's as I feared. I think I understand what poor Livia has been going through. Let me ask you this. Did you happen to encounter a stranger in the forest?
I did meet Karen.
And did you happen to catch her name? I see. And was this Karen, by any chance, wearing a hood? Because I've seen her before. There's something I think you should see. I think you'd better follow me to the baths. But
all right.
Don't follow too closely.
What up, Sly Emma? Thank you very much for the raid. We're checking out the Forgotten City, which is kind of like Return of the Obra Dinn sort of puzzle type thing. It's been real cool so far. Well, in case we have to restart that, we can go just be like... Yeah, I have the key. Just be like, I know it was you, fiendish Dr. Wu.
Domitius doesn't usually let anyone in here without a hefty tribute, so you must have been desperate to see me. Well, what do you want?
Yeah, so far it's been so cool. Just the way everything is kind of built on each other, and it reminds me a lot of Return of the Obra Dinn in that it's kind of like teasing and puzzling things out. Plus the voice acting has been really great. Oh, that face says yes.
My name is Marcus Malleolus Gurgis. You seem to have confused me with someone else.
One green eye and one blue eye, just like the description in this execution order from Emperor Nero.
In my heterochromia, I am guilty of nothing more than having different colored eyes. And I'm hardly the only person with the condition. Alexander the Great had it too, as it happens. I like to think it is simply the way the gods have chosen to mark a natural-born ruler. Nothing more. Well, I am not suffering from any delusions, as today's election will firmly establish. Unlikely, because it simply isn't true. Now, was there something else you wanted? Of course not. But as I always say, if Sentius can't protect his daughter...
Might have had something to do with it
protect this city.
to set up the election. Aren't you telling me?
If you're trying to find her, you may wish to check the cisterns beneath this villa. Domitius says he saw a body there some weeks back. Of course, just to be clear, I take no responsibility for what happens to you down there.
Yeah. I want you to withdraw from the election.
Why
Yeah.
would I... You are right. I trust you.
Yeah. I wonder if talking to his unhappy crying wife can get us anything more in terms of him being, Yeah, that's what's been happening to me is, like, I was like, yeah, no, they stand over here. And then I go to an area, I'm like, they're not fucking over here. They've left.
Supposed to be in here.
Let me talk. Would you like some help getting back at Malleolus?
An intriguing
Okay, now we're
proposition.
talking.
Go on. Perhaps you're not as silly as those clothes make you look. What makes you say that? You know, I may have the very thing you're looking for. Some time ago, when he still cared for me, he wrote me a love letter. Only, he used the wrong name. Now, addressing one's wife by the wrong name is not unheard of among philandering Romans. But in this case, the name he got
wrong was his own.
I confronted him about it, and he stammered through some incoherent response. I let it go, eventually, and yet questions.
Claudia, we can do some work together.
My mind ever since. But wait a minute. Why exactly are you helping me?
I want to force him to withdraw, or just sit. She might hate. Oh God, Georgie just is such a bro. He was the first person I talked to. I was like, yeah, if this dude's like the problem, I'm gonna be so sad. I wonder if, if I feel like if I say I want to force him to withdraw from the election, she may be like, I hate the magistrate more than I hate him.
Oh, aren't you charming?
Oh, perfect. Okay.
I'm quite sure
Play to
my
the
husband
ego.
would seethe with impotent rage if he overheard you say that. I love it. It seems our interests are aligned. I imagine knowing his true identity will give me the leverage I need to manage.
Yeah, play to the ego.
But first, I need you to do something for me.
What?
I want you to bring me some wine. Just one small urn should do it. Oh, don't look at me like that. I know this must be hard for you to wrap your sweet little
Pleb head around.
So what do you need me to spell out? You mean, aside from the fact because
That's
there's
fair.
barely any left in the city. In fact, there's only one small urn, as far as I'm aware. And getting it won't be easy.
The rum's gone.
Let me tell you something about Malleolus. He talks a lot about freedom, but what he doesn't tell you is that he means freedom for men. After all I've done for him,
That tracks.
counseling him through his entire election campaign, and he had the audacity to lock me in here. He
She's
said
gonna
it was for my
reverse
own
Lady
good,
Macbeth him.
and that my drinking was unbecoming of a lady, let alone the wife of a magistrate. I'll show him unbecoming. Tonight, at his victory party, I'm going to get good and merry, and if he tries to discipline me again, I'll threaten to expose his true identity in front of everyone. I am so looking forward to it.
That's all the questions I had.
You'll help me. Excellent. Now, you'll need to pay a visit to that strumpet Aurelia in her tavern. I expect you'll have to flatter her a bit. If that doesn't work, you might be able to get some advice from Yulia, who's probably still at the shrine of Apollo. I heard they used to be close. They both appreciate the poetry of Sappho of Lesbos, if you get my meaning.
I do get your meaning, Claudia.
Thank you.
Okay. Door's over here.
Oi! How did you get in there, you cheeky little...
Yeah, whatever. Bye, Gladiator. Aurelia. Where's the Yulia, though? Oh. I suppose I do need to go down this way anyways. This motherfucker tries to shoot me every time I'm running.
Just as the ocean accepts the rivers of all the world, so this place accepts all the souls. But it does not notice the crowds that come. The bloodless shadows wander without flesh or bone. Some crowd the forum, some the house of the ruler of the depths. Others follow their trades, imitating their previous lives.
I'm sorry, I have no idea what that
never
means.
do. There is only a downward path, gloomy with fatal yew trees. It leads through dumb silence to the infernal regions. Help me.
Do you?
You cannot help
help?
me. I have seen things. A pattern, a terrible pattern. It is better for you if you remain ignorant. Pandora's box must stay closed. I'll say no more. The bloodless shadows. This is their punishment.
Right.
You think you wish to know, but you do not. It is better for you if you remain ignorant. The new...
I realized instead of starting all this stuff with Aurelia, I should go talk to Equitia. What is up here? Is that Decius? Oh, I can grab money here. Okay. Where did Equitia want to meet? She was running up this way. Salve.
Salve, Dooley. How are you doing today?
Oh.
Am I going to die?
Makes my sad.
I hope you're coping.
You. Oh yeah, you're right. She went to the baths.
Alright.
Thank you, chat. God, this building collapse was just made me laugh so hard. It's like the only loading zone I've hit. I'll put on that. This one. Oh, there's one of the wooden ladders.
All right, you're here. You were asking how I knew the young woman you met by the river was wearing a hood. Here, look down at the bottom of the baths. It's a little hard to make out in this light. If only we could see. Oh, what a marvelous lamp. But do you see it? Somebody waking up by a river in a forest to find a hooded figure with a coin. It's just as you described it, only your pronunciation is a little off. The name you heard wasn't Karen. It was C-H-A-R-O-N, as in Charon, the ferryman of the dead. Charon, who, in exchange for the right coin, helps the souls of the newly deceased cross the Styx, the river that separates the land of the living from the land of the dead.
When I dragged you out of the river, I thought you were never gonna wake up. I checked your pockets for ID, but all I found was some loose change. Feels like I've spent my whole life in a dead-end job with an endless commute. Sorry if I sounded cagey, it's just that I don't always get the best reactions when I introduce myself. My name's Karen.
I'm so sorry, my friend. I'm so sorry. I take it you know what this means.
Who said purgatory? This place is the underworld?
So, it's all starting to make sense. All these people whose last memory was running from the fires toward the river. It seems none of them escaped with their lives after all. Perhaps we should be grateful they don't remember their final moments. It also tells us that the Golden Rule is the work of Pluto, the god of the underworld, and why his epithet has always been Father of Riches. I know it's a lot to take in, and you look as if you have questions, so...
It's the Roman good place.
If I can.
Yeah, this writing is solid, turning that what seems like a joke because of the meme. So we're dead.
In the old stories,
Potentially.
the underworld was where the souls of the deceased.
This must be a purgatorium kind of thing.
It was also possible for the living to reach it without dying, if they were particularly fearless. So I'm afraid I don't know. Oh, I'm sorry. I keep forgetting you're not from here. If you were Roman, or even...
And I kinda do,
you
but...
would know these stories. Each of them is slightly different, whether the storyteller was Plato, Homer, Virgil, or Ovid. But they always involved the souls of the dead meeting a grim ferryman named Charon on the bank of a river. It was said that he'd help the new arrival cross, only if they could pay him with a coin, an obol. That's why it was once our custom to bury our loved ones with a coin in their mouths. Charon's obol, we called it. Of course, an obol was a kind of Greek coin, because we inherited this knowledge from the Greeks. The only difference is that they spelled it with a kappa, which I suppose means Kharon is closer to the original spelling.
Why didn't you all recognize Karen immediately?
The ferryman isn't exactly as the poets described, and he, she, they seem to appear to different people in different guises. You say you saw a young woman named Karen with a hood, and I once heard Kabash mention a stranger in a ram headdress named Kerti, and Rufius described meeting a stranger named Kumut Tabal wearing an eagle headdress. But whatever form this stranger took, they were always wearing a hood of some sort, and their name always began with a K sound. I suspect the only way you'll solve this riddle is if your paths cross again. Good question. Let's see. In the stories, Charon would always require a coin as payment for passage across the river, but that never made any sense to me. What does an ancient
solid
immortal
question
being need with coins? In our case, it seems Charon didn't take the coins we had. He or she merely checked we had one in our possession. So, maybe there's something special about the coins each of us had on us. That might explain why we wound up here, but so many others did not.
My buffalo nickel.
No. I mean, I had my suspicions, especially after Livia's ramblings, but I would never have figured it out without your help, I promise you.
That's all the questions I had, surprisingly.
We have to figure out what to do about it, if we don't want to be cast into gold for eternity. We don't have much to go on, except the old stories. I remember 4 in particular about heroes in the underworld. Hercules, the demigod and son of Jupiter. Orpheus, a Thracian poet. Sisyphus, a king of Ephyra. And Aeneas, a Trojan hero. Hercules was able to leave the underworld because he cowed its god with his strength. Sisyphus and Orpheus both relied on their wits instead. They persuaded the goddess of the underworld, Proserpina, to help them escape. And finally, Aeneas was able to escape with the help of a spirit guide, who led him through a secret gate. So it seems you have 2 options: to confront the god of the underworld head-on, or find a way to escape with the help of Proserpina or some other guide. It's a reasonable question, but the problem is, this place is fairly well designed to keep us here. There's no way to climb up the shaft. And even if you could build a ladder big enough, just trying it would break the Golden Rule. We know that, thanks to the writings left behind by those who've tried.
Notice you seem uncomfortable calling the god of the underworld by his name. What's that?
All Romans try to avoid saying it, and the reason is quite simple. He might hear us. You may refer to him as Pluto, if you wish, but you'll only be calling attention to yourself. Do so at your own peril.
Pluto, you ain't even a planet. It's not true.
Shh.
Tell me more about...
Everyone so blunt where you're from?
Yeah, pretty much.
That option would be the boldest, but also the only way to learn the truth about the Golden Rule, and maybe even put an end to it. As I said, Hercules managed to overpower the god of the underworld.
Hey, not wrong.
But he was a demigod. Forgive my candor, but you are no Hercules. Are you telling me that you can? I won't pretend to understand exactly what that means, but if that's true, then perhaps you stand a chance. So, if you want to confront him, I'll help you as much as I can. Who knows? Perhaps your name will be uttered in the same sentence as Hercules.
I did find a bow. I'm gonna go shoot a god in the face.
You need an audience with you-know-who, and for that, you'll need to enter the great temple overlooking the city. The problem is, the door has been sealed shut for as long as I've lived here, and there doesn't even seem to be a keyhole. I suspect the answer lies in the desecrated obelisk in front of it. I'm not sure if you noticed, but there are 4 plaques missing from its base. It looks as though somebody, or a series of somebodies, forcibly removed them, and in doing so, dishonored and angered our divine keeper. If you could recover and replace all 4 of those missing plaques, I imagine he might be willing to receive an audience again.
Okay.
It's the towering stone monument with 4 sides and a pyramid-shaped head.
Oh god, it's Pyramid Head.
It stands before the great temple, a dedication to the god of this place. You'll find them all over Rome, but of course they were looted from Egypt many years ago. It seems one of them made its way here too, although how is a mystery. However, this one is unusual in that each of the 4 sides is decorated in a different style: Roman, Greek, Egyptian, and another I don't recognize. That means you'll need to recover 4 different plaques: Roman, Greek, Egyptian, and a 4th, a mystery plaque.
American.
Good question. To answer that, we first need to ask...
My first thought is Judea.
In the first place. It would have had the god's name engraved into it, so it may be that whoever desecrated it wanted that name.
Go ask Malleolus about it.
And there's only one group of people I know of who might want to do that.
Oh, the
There's
Christians.
a cult in Rome that often argued there is only one true god. Theirs, of course. They've been known to start fires, as well as deface religious monuments whose existence challenged their beliefs. If I were you, I'd go looking for them. Of course, they've all been in hiding since the fire last year, so finding them won't be easy. But I did hear a rumor they have a secret shrine somewhere in the city. Perhaps, if you could find that, you might be able to recover the Roman plaque. I don't know. But perhaps you should begin your search.
Georgius.
With the Greek fellow, Georgius. His store is in the forum.
Oh, I bet that's the treasure Dooley's after.
Perhaps Kabash, our Egyptian resident, would be able to tell us. Unfortunately, he disappeared weeks ago. But I did hear Aurelia is peddling rumors about him at the tavern, so perhaps you could talk to her, or just take a look in his room. I'm afraid you're on your own with that one. As I mentioned, both Orpheus and Sisyphus were said to have persuaded Proserpina to help them escape, and Aeneas was guided to the exit. The problem is, those are the stories of a poet, a self-aggrandizing king, and a brawler about their own heroic deeds, so they should be taken with a grain of salt. First, Proserpina. What we do know about her is, well, it's a grim tale. It's said the god of the underworld abducted and dragged her here against her will, forcing her into marriage. If the stories are true...
So would she help us?
The problem is, How do we communicate with her without being noticed by her captor? Leaving that aside for a moment, there is also the possibility of a spirit guide. I don't suppose you've come across one of those in your travels?
I mean, kind of.
Truly? And you're only bringing this up now? Then again, I suppose you were worried I'd think you were as mad as Navia. Can you tell me more? Is it the same voice? What kinds of thing does it say? Fascinating. Perhaps she's a benevolent spirit. Or perhaps... Perhaps you're hearing the voice of Proserpina herself. If she has indeed been abducted, it would make sense for her to speak in cryptic whispers to avoid detection. Tell me, has she told you anything that might lead you to the way out? That is strange. There are no rivers here. Let me think on that.
I was really hoping you could tell me what it meant.
Water flows into the city from an aqueduct into one of two cisterns, the upper cistern. If that's the current she's talking about, then perhaps you need to get into the upper cistern somehow. I vaguely recall wondering what was in there, but the door at the back of the great temple is locked up tight. You might be able to get a key from the magistrate, but if that doesn't work, perhaps you can find another way in. Let me know if you find anything in there. All right. I would suggest not discussing this with anyone. The best we can do for them is to let them remain oblivious for as long as possible. As for Livia, it seems she's been shouldering the weight of this terrible secret all this time. Perhaps it would comfort her to know she's not alone. In any case, may for...
Okay. So we are going to save here after that sort of bombshell that's dropped on us about being in the underworld. Whether we're dead or not, we don't know. But we will figure it out. Yeah, feels like a good stopping point. So the plan is this game itself is definitely finishable in 2, like max of 3 streams. So we are going to indeed play this through to the ending. So what that means is next week, right around the same time, 8:30, 8:45 p.m. Eastern, you can find us here, and we're going to be doing the next portion of this game, potentially to the end. I don't know how long it is really, but should be 2, if not 3 streams. So same time, same place next week on Monday, and we'll be continuing from there. That being said, I'm going to call it a night here. Thank you everyone for coming. I hope you had fun. This game is cool as hell, and it's nice to be able to play a game that is more than pixel art on the new computer here. So once again, thank you everyone for coming. Hope you have a great rest of your night. Rick will have you tomorrow. Jeff back with the Nuzlocke on Wednesday. Back to Rick on Thursday, and then some multiplayer Sundays. So I hope everyone has a good night. I'll see you later in the week.